What's up guys, ZiSotto here, and today we're looking at the third part of the patch notes. No, fourth part by now of Season 6. I'm gonna have to turn on this audio for a bit because it's very loud. Wow. And we're gonna see the first skin, Achilles, right there. That actually was pretty cool already. I think it's gonna be a lot of skins in this patch. Freya, okay, why another Freya skin, but it looks pretty cool at the same time. She was considered as a god, maybe that's why. That's the Guan Yu skin that we're seeing there. And I think there's gonna be more changes to the patch notes afterwards as well, so we'll talk about those after today as well. Shouts to Hi-Res for, once again, not starting on time. They've managed to start, like, delayed every single time now. It's quality. That is a 6 skin, though, which I will get, so I'm happy with that. And yeah, let's jump into it and see what we get to hear and to see. Because there's a lot of more skins in this update, so I'm not sure when I'm showing them.
Welcome in, everybody. It's 6.1 update show. We've got a massive show for you here today. This is the thickest this packet has ever been.
Oh no.
Tons of stuff to go over. Battle Pass content. We've got more skins than I think I've ever seen before in one update. And of course, Merlin, the Master Wizard reveal, all coming. Merlin, I'll give you a hint right now. It's a little bit later on, but you've got plenty of good stuff to hold you over until then. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
So
for
he's
all
not
of this.
released this patch
We'll
because
start with a little bit of
Solid
discussion about Smite on Switch. So the closed beta again starts Thursday, January 24th. Also my birthday. Speaking of which, happy birthday to F. Two great commentators. Well, one great commentator, one fat egg, all born the same week. I'll let you decide which one is which. You can pre-purchase your ability to get on that Smite Switch to earn the Foxy Amaterasu plus 200 extra gems. That brings it up to 600 total. And Dragon Empress Scylla. So make sure you guys get your stuff ready to go so you can play Smite on the go. In fact, we got a little video here for you to preview some of that stuff for Smite on Switch.
Oh, that video was really well received by the Switch community. Switch forums, so to speak, because they kind of memed the original Switch trailer. See if you can spot the part. That was it. Rooftop party. Because in the original Switch trailer, they had a rooftop party playing Switch and no one would ever do that.
Smite on Nintendo Switch. For a limited time, unlock the closed beta and exclusive loot with the Founders Pack.
Wait, did Aggro just say that?
I just really hate it when I'm on a rooftop with all my friends and we can't be playing Smite. Now I don't have to worry about that because we can play it on Nintendo Switch. It's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you get involved with that. As I mentioned, we got a ton of 6 skins to go through today. And let's start going through some of those right now with a quick little preview. We'll start with Knight of Mordred Achilles. This skin
looks so cool.
Is going to give me nightmares. And like not in the way that some of the spooky Opwash and Bakasura skins, like those Spectral ones do. This one, like, I'm just going to imagine that I'm in some sort of gladiators arena and I need to fight my way out. And then this dude walks in. I'm like, oh, I'm just dead now. There's nothing I can do. He's looking good with the helmet or without the helmet. That is really awesome.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Between,
I like the other helmet one better then.
We'll get a little bit
because he takes off the helmet and the other one keeps the helmet.
Lady of the Lake Freya as well coming in this update. You've gotten little previews of these in your in-game client looking at the King Arthur and Merlin section of the UI, but this Freya skin looking awesome. Another homage to the King Arthur lore.
Another
we also have
Freya skin is what we want to say.
Wukong. God, Wukong has so many cool skins.
Battle Pass skin?
Why are we going to do this to all these Wukong players? We're like, you can't play all the skins at once. It's just not fair. They're going to have to make a choice somewhere along the line. That is insane. That model is so cool. He's got no body, dude. He's just got a bunch of limbs. Okay, I can't wait to see all those different animal forms for the 72.
I don't know. I don't know if I like that.
Heavy Hitter Anubis also on the list. You're going to see a lot of stuff about this skin.
Oh, look, it's Sonic Fox.
Later on, I'll give you a hint. It's tied in to the Battle Pass. My man's ready to go to work. Look at him. I love it. Another one of those Smite Tropolis-esque skins. This is amazing. And he looks really comfortable, and that's going to be really important.
I feel like I just don't like SMITE Tropolis skins.
Scarlet Judgement Nemesis, also coming in the 6.1 update. The bangs free flowing all the way down to the point where
another
she
Nemesis
can't see.
skin?
It's a good haircut though. You gotta give her credit. Sometimes you just gotta let
What's
the hair
up with
flow.
Nemesis skins? Who
That's what's
plays her
happening
even?
here
Where are
with
these skins coming
Scarlet
from?
Judgement Nemesis. Steamy Chibi Soul.
This is not even. This looks like
Also
a
covered
recolor of another skin we already have.
These Chibi skins. I love it. She's so cute and mad at the same time.
Not a
she's
fan,
got
but
a
I
cute
can see a
little
lot of people
dress.
liking this.
I love
I think a
this
lot of
skin.
people will be a fan of that. I
She's
really
so
don't
mad.
understand the choice
It's
to go
okay,
with
so
another
we'll talk
Nemesis
about
skin that
that
looks
later.
like all the other Nemesis skins.
Vaporwave
So
Poseidon.
yeah, that one's
Preview
cool.
of this
We saw the show.
and some of the other 6.1 update shows last week, but we'll go more in depth on it now. The Green Ranger coming to Smite, at least the voice of the Green Ranger. This skin is dope. Can't wait to hear that voice pack in its entirety. Golden Touch Baron Samedi. Saw this on the preview. This will be tied to your commendation rewards. And hopefully I've been nice enough to all of my teammates to the point where I can actually play this skin. I am now regretting
I like this one.
I won't
I like
say
this one a lot.
mean, but maybe not so nice things I said to my teammates over the last few days. I kind of wish I would have been nicer and would have made sure I got this skin. Dragon Empress Scylla, you've heard a lot about this. This is, again, attached to that Smite closed beta on Nintendo Switch. Looking
Wait,
real
that's
nice
just a
here.
recolor of the other
That white and gold,
dragon
always
skin.
a solid combo. Works well for Baron, working well for Scylla. And then
Oh,
Gladiator
the dragons look cool
Guan
though.
Yu. An awesome, awesome idea. Another man that if I were to be in a dream scenario, hopefully it's a dream, because if I ever find myself in a battle to the death in any circumstance in real life, I should just F6 right away.
I know a lot of people don't like the skin, but I actually really like it.
I
I didn't play ranked
assure
this
you
season,
of
so
that
rip.
right now. Gladiator Guan Yu, again, one of the many skins we have in the 6.1 update. We'll be going over all of those in depth later on in the show, including the voice packs and, of course, all the different animations that they'll have across all their abilities. It's going to be a good one, I can tell. But before that,
It's gonna be
let's
so
check in with some
long.
of the community team. We got someone here from esports, Avrin, and community, Michaela. What's up, guys? How are you today?
I'm doing pretty great. How you doing?
Can't complain. 6.1 update. I get to finally talk about Merlin later.
I know. How exciting.
I'm gonna
Literally
give
cannot wait.
Cupcake
I
props
haven't
because
been
she
this
always
excited
tells me
about
when the
God
patch
in
notes
a
are
long,
out the
long
written form.
time. But we've got a lot of great stuff going on with the 6.1 update. I mean, this is
Just
a
good people.
whole new stuff across the board for a lot of our different Smite players. Let's talk a little bit about this Titan Forge tournament first that's been going on. If you haven't been watching, 11 a.m. during this week on mixer.com/Smite game, we've seen some of these, the dev groups come together and battle. How did you guys do today? I didn't get a chance to tune in. Was it?
Are you trying to rub it in?
I truly am not. I didn't watch. And as soon as I asked that question, your face told me I should stop asking that question.
Well,
You got
going
unlucky.
into the semifinals for tomorrow is going to be gameplay programming and QA. And then
Whoa,
the semifinals
sorry.
on
I realized they're really
Thursday
quiet
is
now.
going to be
Oh,
with
Mike's-
design
come
and
on.
environment art.
Whose fault was it on your team? If I could ask that.
I think it was me.
Okay, well, no, no one ever says themselves, okay? I want someone that was not you.
No, they're my team.
No, throw them under the bus. You're already looking for a new roster. You lost this year. I mean, next year's Titan Forge tournament is out there. You can pick up new players.
I'm sorry, Christina. Bye.
Yeah, that's right. See you later. You're no longer working for us. But maybe you're looking for new players, but everyone at home has their squad that they like to play with, and Party Up Weekend's a good time to do that.
Yeah, that's actually going to be happening this
No.
weekend, where you can get 2 times the worshiper's favor in XP when you're playing in a party with your friends.
Love that. Always a good time. Get those worship.
Love
boosters
that is what he
ready,
says. All
because
right.
The grind is on. Winner for this Titan Forge tournament, remember, does get their skin on sale for 200 gems.
Yep, that's
at the end of the
correct.
week.
You know, I'm just
you gotta
not
fi-
gonna
who do
play
you-
this
who do you think is
weekend.
favored in this tournament now.
Just
Now that
not.
you guys are out and got unlucky that you lost, of course.
It was, like you said, just pure luck that
Right,
we lost.
right.
But I think a lot of people are rooting for Design. They have a Kuchulain skin that's going to be on sale if they win. Design's been feeling very passionately. They think they're going to do well, but I'm going for QA.
Oh, okay. QA, I think, is a sleeper pick. That's for sure.
QA,
They're
isn't
looking
that
pretty good. We
Tails?
saw them yesterday. All right, Avrin, let's talk a little bit about esports. Unfortunately, we did have to
Wait,
make
maybe
some
not.
cancellations this
We
year.
did have to cancel preseason. That would have been happening throughout the month of February. It was a series of, I believe, 4 exhibition matches just to let the teams kind of get a feel for each other, let our fans get a better sense of what they can expect in the regular season. But unfortunately, due to a handful of issues, we wanted to push that back. We cut preseason just to give them enough time to relocate here, actually get settled in Atlanta, and not have to worry about playing games while they're trying to do that.
Yeah, exactly. mean, moving across the country or
That's
to a
fair.
different
That's
country for
understandable.
a lot of these players is a pretty big deal.
Oh,
So
yeah.
making sure they're ready to go and comfortable, definitely the priority. But we still do have a lot of stuff about the SCL for open qualifiers.
Yes. So even without
Sorry.
preseason, February is going to be really, really busy, especially for people who are kind of trying to get into the pro scene a little bit. So one of the big things we have going on that we just announced last week is the SMITE Console League Open Qualifiers. So starting February 9th, that first weekend, we are going to have our first open bracket tournament. Anyone who is on console, Xbox One, or PS4 can sign up, find a team, hop in and test their mettle and see if they have what it takes to make it through the open bracket. So we'll have 4 weeks of open bracket, and then we're going to have some closed brackets to finish that circuit off. And in the end, we're going to end up with 2 teams qualifying out of each platform in each region. So we'll have 2 NA Xbox, 2 EU Xbox, 2 NA PS4, 2 EU PS4, all that good stuff.
And you said anyone?
Anyone.
All right.
Anyone with a
You found
console
your
and a
new
team.
roster. Yeah, ready to go on the console side of things.
Yeah.
Maybe you know, if you're a player that maybe not so interested in the competitive side of things, but wants to maybe win some gems for all these awesome skins coming up in 6.1, I think we got something for them as well, right?
We do have something for them. So we are currently in the registration period for the NACE SMITE Gem Cup. It is open to all collegiate players in the U.S. So if you're currently a university student, you can find 4 other people at your college, sign up, and hit the battleground for a chance to win some gems. And you guys might actually recognize that from the NACE
guys like
championships that we
gems?
had back at HRX.
That's right. So transfer to UIUC, team up with Meerkat.
Yes.
Beg him to pick Loki and profit.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
That's a
that's
good
about right.
formula.
yeah, that's the game plan. I just laid it out for you. We also have the SMITE Combine coming up. That I
We
know a lot
do
of people
have the
been asking
SMITE
about.
Combine. The Combine is back. People are really excited.
I think this is all good
the
information, but it
Combine
doesn't
is
belong in
basically
the
a proving
patch
ground
notes.
for people who are just a little bit below the minor league level.
They're long enough as is.
Great amateur scene, and there are prizing opportunities this year. So we're going to be announcing tournament dates and full details for participation probably tomorrow.
Awesome.
Actually, very soon.
So
Very
that'll be
soon.
SMITE Pro Twitter, I'm guessing.
Yes, always SMITE Pro Twitter.
Always SMITE Pro Twitter. If you aren't following them, what are you doing?
Yeah, for real.
Also, follow at f.ny. It's his birthday today, and
Happy
I'm gonna
birthday.
Send him a
continue
dog
that.
photo.
Yeah, he wants a dog picture. Trust
Yeah.
me. I asked him. I didn't, but I know him pretty well, and
Yeah.
that's exactly what he wants. Thank you guys so much for joining us here. We're
You
gonna throw it
actually
over
do
to
that,
bug
like,
fixes here in a moment.
follow
but first,
X
a little bit of
person
a
on the
preview
patch
what you
notes.
can
Just
expect for the Battle
talk about
Pass.
your game, dude.
Ooh, too hot for me. Ooh. Too hot for me.
Oh. I already get it.
No, not SMITE 2.
I am not going to get
It was
this.
too hot for Tina, but will it be too hot for you? I guess that's the question with that Battle Pass. Finch and Pawn here, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the bug fixes that are going to be coming here in 6.1.
Yep.
And there's actually a lot of stuff in here. I know sometimes people can gloss over this section, but there's a lot of good stuff in here that should improve it. The thing we're starting with first is unlimited skins. I guess first talk a little bit about what those are, and then we can go over the how this is being changed.
Yep. So the quick of unlimited skins are these. Are
Wait, why are
skins
they
where
so much more
normally we have an event,
quiet?
And at the end, there's a limited skin that will never be available again.
Right.
We're trying a new thing.
Production.
Where we're doing unlimited skin, where the skin will be
DukeSloth
available
production.
again, but it will be available for the full gem price of what it would take to unlock an event. So during the event, you can get it by progressing through the event. But
Right.
then once the event ends, it'll get a gem price cost that is the entirety of the event if you want to get that skin. We just want to give players an opportunity if there's like a skin that you really, really, really wanted, an opportunity to actually get that outright if you want to.
Yeah, maybe you weren't playing at the time or something like that, or you just couldn't get it, but there's essentially supposed to be like a button, and you just you pay that big price all at once, and then you get the skin.
Yes, and the bug was the Merlin skin that is in the event currently going on right
Right.
now that was mislabeled. It is now properly labeled.
And they'll cost, like you said, the amount of gems that were equivalent to what it would have cost to acquire throughout the event. So basically, it's a way to go back and get those skins if you ended up missing out on them. So glad that's working with the way that we were looking for. Next thing is it looks like there's something here with platform-specific skins. Fixed an issue where skins that can only be playable in certain platforms were not selectable. All these
Finch
skins
needs
should
to
be playable.
really work
Yep,
on leveling his
there's some
voice
really cool
because his
skins,
voice
especially
levels
people
are
who were, like, early
bouncing like
founders for
crazy.
Each platform really had. They were not selectable for a bit, and those are
Like
back.
Pawn is like,
And it looks like someone might only be playable on certain
and Finch is
platforms,
like,
but they'll appear as own, so just not
Yes.
selectable.
Yeah, that's a lot of the cross-platform stuff that we've been working
Right.
on. We want to make sure that, like, because you own it technically, but then it being selectable, there's different rules around that. So you might see something that you can actually select, or it might disappear on one platform but appear on another, and that's why.
All right, now all those people who have friends out there and lots of people to play Smite with, this next one might be important for you, but probably won't impact me too much. Looks like there were a couple of, I guess, maybe some issues, maybe things that were just parts of the pains with the changeover with UI that should be a little bit more clarified here.
Yep, so one is that you couldn't report players from the recently played area of that menu.
Right.
That has now been fixed, so if someone was being a jerk, report them.
Good, and you should.
Yes. The second is that if you had a really, really big friends list, you could actually like kind of lock up the game.
Good for you guys, I guess.
Yeah,
You had that issue.
I have this.
Brag about it. Right, I'm sure you did.
But yes, that is fixed. And additionally, we now actually have a timer in that will show you how long your friends have been in match. If you're trying to be like, well, I want to find a friend to play with. Someone's currently in Conquest. If they're at 5 minutes or if they're at 35 minutes, a very different thing of whether you're going to wait or not.
So now you should be able to tell about how long they've been in their match. That's a big one to have these updated. So like I said, some heavy hitters in here.
So the old features are coming back.
Blight Guardian Athena updated the audio for this skin to make the ultimate sound effects easier to hear.
Yes.
All right, that's a big one.
Yes.
You definitely want to be able to hear Athena's
Yes.
ulting.
That was
Yeah,
OP.
if she's going to dunk on you and deal a whole bunch of damage, you got to know that. And similarly with Glacial Gaze Medusa, that was also a similar issue where it wasn't clear. It wasn't audibly clear. So
Good.
So some changes here to make it just more clear what's going on
Athena
with
was just
some of
not
these gods
hearable in
specifically.
in a
and
fight.
then with console, looks like there's an issue where friends list would show error text instead of friends as actual gamer tag. So that one has also been resolved. It sounds like good.
Fixing all the things.
A lot to go in and clean up, it sounds here, but looks like y'all did a good job on it, so the experience should be a little bit nicer. I think that's just about it, at least for the bug fixes on this side here. Pawn, anything I missed out on? Or?
No, I think that is about it. We will be back in a little bit because
That's exactly
we have a few balance things that we're going to be doing. But first we have other things to talk about.
That's exactly right. So we'll be back here a little bit later on to go over some more balance-related stuff. This is more like bug fixes.
Yeah, we got it.
Come
on, move
We're
on.
We're going to be getting it back over, though, I believe, to Aggro here to talk a little bit more about
dragging this out so much today? Why? Oh yeah, crank the volume up again. That's... I'm literally an audio mixer for this at this point. Like, I'm literally just shifting back and forth the audio because they can't do it. Hey, a meme from 2011? I don't know. Fellow kids.
Yeah. Welcome back, everybody.
No,
that's right. It's
Slaughter.
battle pass time. We'll
Okay,
be going over that in just a
sure.
moment, but it's too hot for us, I guess. I just want to know what Anubis did to make that Wukong so upset. I mean, he doesn't even have a body. Like, what could he possibly? He couldn't have made like a weight comment, right? Because he doesn't have a body. That's what I'm
Correct.
thinking. Anyways, I've got Tina, and I've got someone who looks suspiciously like Ajax, but also suspiciously not like Ajax.
His name's Goobus.
Still in my tournament persona from today.
Yeah.
My try-hard mode.
Yes, exactly. I hear that you guys did exceptionally well.
If you want to see how to play a gold level Odin, go ahead and watch that back. I will show you how it's done.
Yeah, that is flawless gold level participation by me. Who do you guys play up against on Thursday?
The
environment
team.
You feeling good about that matchup?
It's a tough matchup. They've got they play together a lot. Their jungler is very skilled, but you know, so
Wilson's
is
really
Pon. So
but so is Pon.
it should be a good match.
Yeah.
And then QA is like the favorite coming out of the top
QA
side.
and programming will be
It is.
that'll be a tough match for sure tomorrow, and then we'll be facing either one of those. They'll both be tough matchups.
Yeah, Chaos played Baka and pub stomped his
Yeah,
way
I think
to
QA
a
is a little more consistent, and Chaos is just an absolute hyper carry.
Yes,
Yeah, he
Chaos
is.
was popping off, that's for sure. All right, let's get into something to talk about this battle pass. So we're going to this battle pass structure for season 6. A lot like battle passes you've seen, like say in Paladins, you'll have two different tracks. You'll have one that is free and one that is the premium side.
Correct.
What can players expect from the free half of the battle pass?
From the free half of the battle pass, they can expect things like we've got favor, and there's an announcer pack they can get, and there's
It's a lot of favor and winners chest, triumphant chest, things like
all
that.
these-
There's
yeah.
a lot of different rewards you can get from the free side.
Cool.
And most important thing is, of course, is as you're leveling it up, you can move to the premium side anytime you want, and you'll get all the rewards you previously unlocked. You don't have to start over again. So you can see like, oh, I'm not sure really how far I'm going to make it this split. You start playing it, you see you're getting pretty far. You can buy into it, then get everything and catch up real quickly.
Gotcha.
That's
And
nice.
of course, you earn your battle pass points just by playing any regular game mode, normal or ranked, will get you points.
Not co-op.
Right.
Okay, so you can't be grinding against the bots for your battle pass. For your
Yeah,
battle
you'll
pass
get battle points from playing. Yeah,
Gotcha.
playing it all.
Nice and easy for you there. And as AJ mentioned, if you have been playing a good amount and you end up saying, oh, well, you know, just if I go on the other side, get the premium side, I get all this sort of stuff, then it's probably worth it for me. You'll get all that. You don't have to restart or anything like that. So let's talk about what will be in the battle pass in general. So
A lot of stuff.
We saw a lot of the skins in that little video there. What else can we expect in there?
Here we've got a list here.
Okay,
Yeah.
Let's run them off.
Steamy
shall we?
Chibi Soul, Squeaky Squeak Announcer Pack, Hot One Title, Flames Recall, Yummy Jump Stamp, Heavy Hitter Avatar, Smitetropolis Pedestal, Smitetropolis Loading Frame, Legend Title, Infinite Shift Sun Wukong, Scarlet Judgement Nemesis, Heavy Hitter Anubis. I think that's everything. Just of the individual cosmetics. And that Legend Title, that's for later in the year.
Yeah, so you have to,
If you get
Nothing
all
of
the
interest
battle
for me,
passes,
actually.
That's how you
all
get
the
the
battle
Legend.
passes. You get
Gotcha.
the legend
For the whole
title
year. So
for
that'll
the
be
whole
hard. But
year.
yeah, it's a bunch of stuff. It's 4 skins.
It is.
Okay.
So battle passes are going to be about every 2 months. Is that right, Tina?
Yes, every 8 weeks. Correct.
So that's how often you'll be able to get that. You know, in season ticket, you're playing one. If you're playing playing, you get 1 skin.
Right.
Yeah.
Realize
3
his
months.
head's cut off.
Now you're going to get 4 and 2.
Correct.
That sounds like a good deal.
Also, when you buy into the battle pass, you'll also get account boosters that will help you towards your battle pass account. Not a team booster, but one that's towards your account that'll help speed up the process, as
Gotcha.
well as quests that will give you additional battle pass points, so you can complete the battle pass much quicker as well.
So not only will you be moving up the premium track, you'll also be going faster.
Gotcha. So
As any
does it
battle
work
pass.
like a booster does in the lobby, or is it just always on for your
The
account?
one
at that
that's
point?
permanent is the one that is on your battle pass account is always on.
So
We
you
have
need to
2
remember
types
to-
of
There's
booster for
2
battle
types.
Oh, okay.
The account booster, so it'll just apply all the time, and there will also be team boosters you can pop in a lobby to get extra
Yeah.
points for that match for your whole team.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
I can definitely mess with that.
And these are some awesome skins in this pass.
Oh, I know.
The
I mean-
the Wukong is a completely new theme, trying something very different. We know the community's been asking for that, so we've been talking with our concept art team, and
Little
Mark
did I
is going to
know.
be on the show later, help come up with this design, and it's really interesting, unique kind of celestial beings with a lot of negative space and very interesting body anatomy.
Yeah.
And then these really cool, bright, prismatic color palettes.
Dude.
And we're really stoked about it.
You're
yeah.
saying all the right words to me right now.
Yeah.
The prismatic color palettes. I'm in.
You can see his heart. It's crazy.
Immediately, and hopefully that heart is like protected a little bit.
No.
right? 'Cause- Oh,
You can just see it, straight up see it.
that's spooky. At least if I were.
It's symbolic
the
in
Wukong.
many ways.
Yes.
How does that speak about your life, Agro?
Scary. I don't know. I don't like it. Yeah. Well, let's move on. Triumphant chest.
I feel like
is
with
what's-
a fake mustache, I should not be asking you those questions.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That feel good. Oh, AJ, what's up, man?
Did you rip it off, AJ?
Welcome on.
I've had many serious meetings today between the tournament and right now where
with,
I did not take it off.
I like that. I like that we're able to pull it
Dedication,
off.
dude.
So triumphant chests, we want to talk a little bit about that. Triumphant chests existed to reward players each week for coming to Smite and playing. The battle pass system itself is kind of taking over that role and largely made this system a little bit redundant. So
Right.
players can still earn triumphant chests, but their unlock method has been rolled into the battle pass.
Right, so you would play games, you win games, you unlock the chests. And it's the same thing now. You play games, you win games, you unlock battle points, which as you go through the levels, most of the free levels include those chests. So
Right.
we had that symbol
less
had a
chests.
complicated piece of UI that had to be interactable to buy things, unlock things. It was confusing a lot of people. Same
More
thing,
work.
you're still going to get those chests just for playing Smite. They're just in a more easy to understand place now.
I don't have to worry about my chest slots getting locked and then I'm
Right.
not,
No more of
getting
that.
those. Okay, cool.
Yep,
I
just
can-
play and work on your battle pass.
Nice, very nice.
I feel like it's not gonna be a chest per
little bit of
game, but
change
we'll see.
there with the introduction of the battle pass. Season ticket will be retired. F in the chat. While it was a major part of each season, it excluded new and returning players that came into the season late. Anything associated with the season ticket has been removed or has been converted into items that work with the new battle pass system. So this is kind of the change up where we're kind of adapting the old season ticket into what is now the battle pass.
Right. The season ticket was an amazing system. And
Yes.
it's something that you didn't really see in a lot of games at the time that it was invented. here at Hi-Rez and on Smite. One of the issues we've seen with it throughout the years is that it's an entire year-long progression arc, which is, if you were going to play any game, an RPG or an MMO, and someone's like, oh, it's only going to take you a year to unlock this. That's how much we expect it to take. They would think that you're completely insane.
Right.
I don't even know if I'm going to own this computer in a year or this Xbox in a year. I'm going to move to Europe by then. But now we're going to be doing things in a more real, easily understandable duration.
More quick rewards, basically.
Right. So if you show up late, you don't have to worry about it. You'll be able to get in on the next battle pass, or battle pass progression will be a little faster, so you'll be able to get in on that one and hopefully be able to catch up pretty quickly. And you'll have be able to manage your time a lot better and earn a lot more items through it.
Awesome. Also, all of your FP boosters that you currently have, those will be transferred into BP boosters, battle points boosters at 6.1, and no such thing as FP anymore. So you got to work on that.
Question is, what does that mean for our competitive promotion?
We also will have shorter ranked splits this season. They will be
no mention of anything regarding teams or something anymore.
Understand when those will be beginning and ending.
Yeah, similar thing. We saw a lot of people play ranked, and then it gets towards the end of the split, and it's a long time before it restarts. We get a little bit of people not so interested in playing the ranked mode for a little while, so we want to have more resets more often, and those are tied to new rewards. You'll be able to see all that in game and in the patch notes in more detail. So just speeding up the loops here so that we've got a little bit more fun at a more reasonable pace.
We want it. We want our BP, and we want it now.
Correct.
That's basically what we're saying. You'll be able to get it. A lot of those skins coming from the Battle Pass as well. Thank you guys very much for joining us. We're getting closer to Merlin, but first we got some balance to go over with Finch and Pon.
Thanks, Aggro. And you're right, we want to hear more about Merlin, but we got some changes coming in 6.1 that we need to go over as well. So again, Pon joining me, Finch.
Please don't repeat everything we already had.
Later on, there's some changes here that are actually, fairly interesting, I would say, in these update notes. This first one is towards about kind of like the beginning of the game mission and then affects minions throughout. It says minions now spawn after 1 minute into the game, and rather than at 1:30, and players have increased movement speed during the time when they're leaving.
Why are we doing this again?
Yeah, so we
did
talked about this a little bit, but these are the actual timings. These are correct timings. I think we had it incorrect on the patch note show itself. These are the correct timings. Basically, we want the game to start a bit faster, and we also want you to be able to get to your lanes, your positions a bit quicker to match that reduced time. So
and obviously, and it gives a little bit of flexibility in your start too.
Yeah.
If you kind of want to get out there and ward a little bit or something like that, you got that extra movement speed to help out. Also, some changes to the brute minions, the way they spawned in there. It looked like they could be kind of a little bit inconsistent or confusing, so this has been changed.
Yeah, so the way it worked, I'm not even sure if I'm going to explain it correctly.
Sure.
That's new.
Is it would spawn every third wave unless it was changing to a point where it would spawn more brute waves, and it would spawn every second one and then start to going every third.
Right.
And one, it's confusing. You could, if you wanted to learn it, you could learn the pattern of how it spawned, but it was confusing. It wasn't necessarily intuitive. And if you ever got lost, if you missed a wave and you didn't see the stats of it, you would actually have a problem as to what wave you're on. But that would also mean that your ability to take the Oni Fury. The Oni Fury buffs waves, and if your wave is all brutes versus if your wave is not brutes, it's very different.
Yes, in pushing power.
Especially when you're throwing percentage increases to their damage, their health pools, their protections.
That makes sense.
The difference was massive, and so one thing we wanted to do was simplify the wave rules so that it's much more intuitive and understandable. We wanted to make sure that when you get the Oni Fury, its power level is consistent. We've also made adjustments from internal playtests about how strong it is now, considering that you're going to have consistent brutes in each wave.
Right.
But basically, the way it works is now at the start of the game, it'll always be 3 melees. At 10 minutes, it'll become 1 brute and 2 melees. At 20, it'll become 2 brutes and 1 melee. And at 30 minutes, it'll become 3 brutes and no melees.
Pretty serious.
Which is pretty intense. And this also does an additional goal of at the end of the wave when you want, or at the end of the game when you want to really push down. If you get a melee group, it's really easy for the enemy team to stop your push. But if there's 3 brutes, they have to invest more to actually kill them. And so teams at 30 minutes plus can actually use minions more effectively to push into the base.
Interesting. We're going to see a lot of more
does kind of clarify just how important
minion
the
strats
is going to be, right? Because if you've got those 3 brutes and they're buffed as well, it can be very difficult to deal with. And as you mentioned, the Oni Fury has kind of been adjusted in intensity to go along with that here. So it looks like on the next round of minions spawn, all minions in all 3 lanes, that's what the Oni Fury does. The bonus damage, instead of 150, it's 75%. So it must have been way too strong. That's come down quite a bit.
Well, yeah, because we were playing, it's like, oh yeah, these few.
Oh yeah, I was wondering if that was meant to be increased.
3 brute wave spawn. It got buffed, and we had a team fight over in Fire Giant, and the other lane just literally everything got wiped. So that was a bit too intense, especially now if we're going to make it so that you're consistently getting these brutes. It was too intense. So we've toned that down. They can definitely take towers on their own if you do leave them alone,
right?
But we don't want them to take the entire lane.
And that's good. There should be, you know, a premium on once you get that, you have to decide, you know, who do we send over there and like how you balance the rest of the map. So it's good that that works. It looks like they are getting a little bit bonus health as well, changed from 50% to 30%. But Pawn, that is not the only thing that's getting some changes here. It would look like to me. The Fire Giant.
I like the health
getting some
thing.
adjustments happening on that side as well. What kind of spawned this one? Was this just kind of seeing maybe that it wasn't enough, that you had to go in and adjust it some? How'd this come about?
That's largely it. Is we have a new attack chain. We're trying to fine tune how difficult it is to kill the Fire Giant, and in relation to that attack chain,
right?
Player power curves as they get adjusted through balance changes also matters. And we just found the Fire Giant was a bit too easy to kill, especially once when it was like. After it spawned for about 8 to 9 minutes, around that mark, you could kill it really easily. And then when enhanced, it wasn't getting tanky enough. And so we did some adjustments to the enhanced Fire Giant. We're also doing some now adjustments to the base version of it and then amplifying the enhanced even a little bit more. So overall, Fire Giant could be a little bit harder to take.
And this also is in connection with the Mayan Gold Fury, I suppose, right?
Yes.
Because you'll do more damage to them when you have those stacks as well. So it has to be stronger because you're stronger in some cases as well.
Yes.
So we can kind of go through some of these. The Fire Giant base health increased from 6,000 to 7,000. Health per level increased from 225 to 275. Base protections from 90/50 to 110/70. And then, as you said, the enhanced Fire Giant also has been bumped up quite a bit. It goes all the way up to 8,000 health, 275 health per level, and 125/85 protections.
Yes.
It's quite a bit.
Yep, it's going to be tanky.
It's going to be good. It's going to be tough trying to take this Fire Giant now, but hey, that's probably a good thing, right? You got to really fight over it.
Get the Primal Fury.
That's right. You go get it. Should be a little bit easier to shred through it now at this point. So Fire Giant, get a little bit of loving as well. Should be tougher for you to get over there. And then there's one more note here. It's kind of tucked in at the at the bottom, but it's interesting to me. Ratatosker has been changed, so now he may sell his acorn. This is interesting.
So you can get the
we were talking about it, and probably you don't wanna, but I mean, I guess you can't. Right?
Yeah. So this came out of the Speed Elixir where players were like, "Oh man, that's really cool." But what about Ratatosker, where he has an acorn? He doesn't have boots. So basically, we've changed it so now the acorn doesn't stack with the boot speed from Elixir, and you can buy Elixir and sell your acorn if you want a different 6th item. I will note for players who play Ratatosker, the power it provides and the passive it provides is pretty good.
Yeah.
If you want to replace it, you can. It's up to you, but I would suggest that it's pretty good already, unless you're like super late game and you can find like you really actually don't need the survivability, you just need more power maybe, but you can do it now.
There's some options there for Ratatoskers to maybe switch.
I mean,
it
is a super late game choice anyway, so yeah.
Work and how it's going to interact with these late game builds. So thanks for taking me through some of these balance changes. I know you all have been wanting to see Merlin. He'll be in just a little bit later. We're going to the skins next. Let's get it back over to Aggro and the rest of the couch to go over some of
they didn't do everything again. Thank God.
Appreciate you jumping on that grenade for me, Finch. I was going to be the one to tell them they have to wait a little bit longer for Merlin and that we had skins next, but you did it for me. So hey, everyone, it's the segment you weren't expecting. It's skins. I've got Tina. I've got Morgan.
That's not on our
gang here to talk us through it. Guys, we've got maybe more skins in this particular patch than any I've seen. We've got a lot to go through.
Yes.
It's a
lot.
We do have a lot to go through.
It's going to be good. Yeah, but they're all good ones. So at least we got that going for us. We'll start with Knight. Is it really 10?
It's 10.
Wow, we're in double digits. Okay. Number 1, Knight of Mordred Achilles. This one, it kind of involved with this Arthurian lore. He looks like a bad dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty spooky.
Like a bad dude or a badass dude?
Yes.
Both.
It is both.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely both. It says here that he was originally meant to be a good guy paladin, but instead we thought of tying him into the Arthurian lore and exploring what a knight who pledged to Mordred might look like.
Exactly.
He does not look like a good guy anymore.
No.
He's a fancy-looking bad guy.
Judge a book by its cover? Fancy
a little bit,
looking bad guy.
Look, man, Chris, I'm sorry. If that dude comes up to me and is like, yo, you want this free coffee? I'm like,
yes.
No, absolutely not.
He's so handsome.
Sure,
he's like a very pretty bad guy, dude.
There's probably some poison in that coffee.
Well,
that's fair. And then he shoves it down your throat.
Yeah, exactly. I don't
I
have
would
a
be
choice
more scared of him shoving it down my throat than him offering coffee to me.
I don't think I have a choice in the matter. You do have a choice, though, on if you want to play with the armor on or off. And this is one that is going to be really, really cool because it's very apparent which
I like the
stance he's
armor
in, the
on way
offensive
better,
or
and I
defensive
don't play
stance.
Achilles armor
I
on,
gotta
so
say,
rip.
that looks uncomfortably like Anatoly.
Really? I mean, he's not wearing the loafers and he's not wearing
That's
the
true.
gold
No
chain,
PJ pants, no
and
mismatching into the AM clothing. There's no watch.
He
There's
doesn't
no
look
ring.
like a freaking galaxy, so.
But he's got the beard.
He does. I mean, that's probably the only thing that makes him look like Anatoly.
Listen, man. First of all, I've seen Toly wear things that are dangerously close to this outfit.
Yeah.
And
Holy crap.
yeah,
All right.
yeah. I've
Toly
seen
just
it.
looks like a mafia gangster to me.
Sometimes, yeah. I love these little effects, though.
it's looking
the
cool.
dark and smoky.
Almost looked like the
nature
normal
of
effects,
this.
to be honest.
Chris, this is very different than a lot of the other visual effects that we've seen with Achilles so far.
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah, you know, it just kind of complements the look of the character itself. I think this really fits his.
It's a bit more
character
red and dark,
in
of
sense,
course, but
so it's it looks very good.
Yeah, he looks awesome. And talk to me a little bit about the
Except
this
the two,
concept
maybe.
in
The two is
general, Mark,
different.
that,
Yeah, the
that
two is very
you wanted to
different.
make this Knight of Mordred for Achilles.
Right. Yeah. Well, Kiana did this, another concept artist, and I remember us going back and forth, being like, "All right, we want to make Achilles," and we're like, "Well, he's always like this golden boy, right?" And we wanted to explore what Mordred might look like, or a knight who's tied to Mordred might look like. And so we added a bunch of dragon shapes, and we went along with the animation that was done before this skin to just kind of explore the world even more.
Love it. He looks really awesome. Again, with the helmet on this time around. That everything just feels so mean.
I still like this
all the
skin,
time.
but only like
Let's do his
this.
voice pack. Let's see how mean he sounds.
Most remarkable.
It sounds mean.
I am the right hand of Mordred. Attack middle lane. Gank.
Very quiet.
I am the right hand
there we
of
go.
Mordred. You will bow before the true King Mordred. You shall die. My command is absolute. Two men walk into a tavern. That's because they use ale to escape the sad reality of serfdom.
The kissing sounds from his default skin just don't fit at all.
That's real.
That was very real. That was very real there. But definitely sounding the part of what he looks. That is Knight of Mordred Achilles again.
But yeah,
part
good
of
voice
the,
pick overall, I would say.
New Arthur event here in Smite. We also have Lady of the Lake Freya. Same sort of idea. The Lady of the Lake is a mythological figure that doesn't have a whole
Freya
lot
skin.
of this is what she looks like.
Right.
So
She's usually a puddle.
yeah, she's usually a puddle.
Yeah.
She's looking a little bit more solidified this time around.
Rather have her as a
Talk to me
character.
about this direction, Mark.
Yeah, so we really wanted to make sure, well, Sven did this first of all, and we wanted to make sure her clothes looked around that period, so medieval, but also elevated a bit and a bit fantastical. And he tied in the sword to kind of mimic the Excalibur that Arthur wields, but it's a little more feminine, a little more sleek, so it looks better on Freya.
Excalibur.
Did someone else have Excalibur?
Female
There's only
Excalibur.
one of those,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Freya's sword usually pretty good. Ooh, some little water effects.
Little
there.
splashy boys.
Oh, I don't know what I was expecting.
Splashy
of course, she's
boys?
of course she's gonna shoot the splashy boys.
Yeah.
She's the Lady of the Lake.
Dude, her feetsies are water.
Yeah.
Like her feet, like if you zoom into her feetsies,
Are they
they're
really
just
water?
Water, yeah.
No way.
Yo, yeah,
Oh man, she is.
Wow. So she's
That's-
kind of half puddle.
Yeah,
She's
exactly. A little bit. She's
Had
like
to stay more accurate.
Puddle.
how you think she's friends with the old Hebo? You know,
Yeah, ooh, yeah, dude.
he's got the same sort of idea going
I
on there.
ship it.
That's really awesome.
Get
I
it?
love the little splash out
Dude, they can go on a date together.
animation.
I'll end myself now.
You know,
That
I was
sounds
gonna say
terrible.
Hebo's probably a little bit too old for her, but
I know, but I want to see them have Eurasian babies.
Oh
okay.
my God.
Thank you for that, Tina.
Can I go?
Tina, we've got 10 skins. You can't be doing this on
Okay, I'm
skin
sorry,
number
I'm
2.
sorry, I'm sorry.
Not yet.
Dude, look at that water cape.
Yeah, dude,
Is-
water cape.
Is really awesome.
Right.
No, that,
I
the
didn't
wings that
notice.
she normally gets is a little bit of a different feel.
It looks a bit
Takes
weird
to the
because
sky
it's so
with a-
papery
With a
though.
watery cape.
It's
Are
still like
these
a
sorts
fabric,
of,
it's not-
water effects more difficult than other effects, Chris, or is it fairly simple for the experts?
No, for sure. It's difficult to convey that sort of like motion of water while still having it like maintain its shape as an effect and make sense to the visually to the player.
Right.
But I think the effects artist here, Andrew, he did a great job on this. Actually good.
Yeah.
Not sure
that
if it
is
worked
really
out for the
awesome. Let's take
cape.
a listen to the voice back here for Lady of the Lake Freya.
Enchanting. Attack. Attack right lane. Gank. You are worthy. I am eternal. We.
Right.
So you wish to be king? Then you have much to learn. Even if you had a weapon as magical as this, would you know what to do with it?
I like how she says I was
Yes,
slapping
there are
her
many
behind.
stories about me, but very few of them are true. Well, I happen to think my experience perfectly qualifies me to choose leaders.
Leaders.
There she is, the Lady of the Lake. Again, part of the new King Arthur event here in Smite. Indeed. Feels very sarcastic to me. I'm gonna miss something. I'm gonna hear that and be like, a little. Why I oughta.
Sounds like a dying horse.
A little bit. I can't believe this scene is next because I was like, oh man, I'm going to have to wait so long. But no, we get to see Infinite Shift Sun Wukong next up
dude.
on the list.
It's your skin.
I know, right? I know.
So wait, Mark, you're the genius behind this.
I did that. Yeah.
That is awesome. So talk to me all about it. I want to hear about it.
So the story behind it is a while back we were tasked with coming up with new themes, and we started looking across a bunch of different games, and all of them kind of do the same thing. It's always sci-fi, fantasy, mech. There's cutesy, chibi. It's all over the place. So you have to look in weird places to come up with new stuff. So I started looking at psychedelic art. And
Pretty
just a
sure
bunch of
LOL
chibi
has
stuff and
characters
trying
like
to
that and probably
figure out
skins
how to
too.
make it work in Smite. And what excited us most about it was actually using negative space within the rig, because usually when we make a character, we're adding different types of armor. We're always building on top of a character.
Right.
But I like that they're trying
I wanted
something
to see
new.
what we could do if we dug out in a character, you know. So yeah, this is what happened.
Awesome.
looks
And I'm sure, is this better for the rigging artists? Were they like, we love you for this, or is this even harder?
I heard there wasn't that much conflict with animation and rigging.
Oh, nice.
So
That's what we like to see.
Yeah.
The
All a bit more separated.
Those effects are
Work more with the model, with the
graphic
base model,
animation looks really good.
not the character
That is
model.
so cool.
Oh my god.
Like just work with
This
the
is the
rig.
first time I've seen it.
Yeah.
That
Mesh.
looks awesome.
Whoa.
Oh, look at that.
Nice.
bull
I think they can do
form,
some nice
the
skins with this. I'm just
little
not entirely
twinges
concerned with
of
Sun
green
Wukong, but
on the feet there to
Punch
help
'em.
you
Yeah.
differentiate as well.
What is that material? Is this supposed to be like pearl? It looks kind of like a
Yeah,
pearl.
it's like a pearlescent aberration looking thing.
That is awesome.
I like the
Everything's
style.
see-through.
Well,
in the skin.
Yeah.
the tiger looks a lot
that
less
is
visible
so
than normally.
cool.
Yeah.
And are those like little? Are those stars or constellations or something built in there? Or is that
Well,
just
no, I
random
actually
pattern?
wanted to make sure they weren't stars and constellations because I didn't want them to tie back to cosmic skins. So
Sure.
Good call.
I studied a bunch of like sacred geometry and stuff when
Nice.
coming up with this skin. And so if we ever zoom into it, you can see it. But it's actually patterns and circles. And
I
stuff.
like the effort put into
Oh,
this.
yeah.
That
The
is so
thought put
cool.
into the skin.
Do it.
I'm so about this right now. Some sacred geometry
Yeah.
Whoa.
coming at you.
Coast.
Dude,
So-
that is
that
so
looks so
cool.
good.
Yeah.
I won't even be mad when I'm getting chased down by this thing anymore. It'll look too cool.
He's got a cool VXG too.
Ooh, a VXG.
Whoa,
Yeah.
yeah, ooh.
That's
He's
what
gonna
I
fall
like
apart.
to
He's
hear.
gonna
I
fall
forgot about
apart.
that.
Well, we gotta look at the sacred geometry for
Oh yeah, the tiger.
for
Yeah,
all
for
these
all
animals.
animals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right.
So you can see it floating through his skin and stuff.
Yeah, that is amazing.
Dude, he got balls around his neck too.
I think he's always
Third
had
skin.
those.
Yeah, the third animal here, as we were totally talking about, nothing else about the tiger whatsoever.
Oh my god, he does too.
He's got a necklace, Tina. Yes, a necklace. That's the way I would describe it.
Cool.
He's wearing the same necklace right there. Okay, let's take a look at the VXG.
No,
Don't
what
make
about
me-
the ult?
Oh, right, the alt. Yeah, we gotta
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah.
Mastery over all.
Oh, that is so cool.
Whoa, dude.
He looks very
like that.
enlightened.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
I like
yeah.
that.
He's just hit
Amazing.
Nirvana, dude.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I have finally figured out the answer to that
Whoa!
math problem I've been
That's
It's
working
sick.
Did you see that?
That's cool.
It's as the
Whoa.
kids say, dope.
That is very dope. I will agree with that. That looks awesome. The glass
the
breaking
glass.
look kind of effect there.
Yeah, they
That
really
is
put a
awesome.
lot
So-
into the
so
skin. I
clown.
like that.
And then there he is,
Whoa!
reaching
VXG.
reaching his.
Oh, he's not falling apart. Oh, I thought he was
That is
gonna
awesome.
fall to
What is
pieces.
he? Is he flipping the bird to us? What is he doing?
No, he's doing the-
he's meditating.
The meditating.
Oh.
He's centering himself.
I
Yeah,
thought he's like,
yeah. No, none of that. Like you don't got to worry about that. He's good to go right there on the VXG.
Great.
That is
Do
really
that
amazing.
after a kill for the
I'll take a
ultimate
look at the
BM.
voice pack here for Infinite Shift Sun Wukong.
Attack middle lane. Gank. Woohoo! Fantastic.
Sounds like the Capri effects, which I really like, so it's cool.
My privilege. Failure is the first step to mastery. In your case, you seem to just be the master of failure.
Oof, I love it.
I will break you down and scatter your dust into the wind.
It's violent.
Yeah.
I like it.
Is that my heart just floating there? I feel so exposed. You have much to learn. Just so much. So much.
That is awesome. This is a guy who's got it all figured out. You know, that's the impression
Next
that I'm getting.
skin.
He knows what's going on.
Yeah, dude.
That is amazing. And that is his heart just floating there,
Exactly.
right in the middle. And there's great detail on that as well, as Pon showed us right at the beginning of the skin. Congratulations, Mark. I now want all 100 gods to have a skin like this.
All right.
So here we go.
Here we go. Your challenge.
Let's get it popping. Amazing work.
Very cool.
Next up, Heavy Hitter Anubis. This as well tied into the battle pass, as is Infinite Shift Sun Wukong.
I don't even know how that theme fits Anubis.
This part of the Smite Tropolis sort of theme
Right.
that Enna
Correct.
was the creator of. One that is very, very popular, and you can definitely see why, because they are cute and cool.
Yeah.
All at the same
Whoa.
time. What's up, dude?
That's a really close up.
That is like how I wake up every day with my dog right in front of my face.
Aw.
Hello, I'm so happy you're awake. That's what you get every day. Anubis, dude, I would rock that hoodie for sure.
I know, right? That hoodie is pretty dope.
Yeah, that
And he
needs
looks
to be a thing.
very comfortable. Can I
Yeah.
say that?
Yeah, he does. He's got his joggers on. He's got his like little foot wraps. He's got his little arm wraps. He's got a little hoodie. Dude, he's listening to whatever music, I don't know,
Wait, he
Kanye
still has the
West.
wire? Where are the AirPods?
in his ears.
No, he needs the you know what I mean? If he's gonna have all the
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
making a okay.
I see what you're saying.
I
He's
can't
probably not
hear
doing
you,
it on-
Aggro.
He's probably old school and using like.
I can't
Yeah,
hear
you
you.
know what, you're right. He's like more
Got my
he's hanging out
AirPods.
with Geeky Beaky Doth. Like he's
Yeah.
a
The
little more
worst
hipster.
meme.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah,
it's literally like a paid Apple meme, I swear.
Whoa!
That is so cool. Oh, I was so not ready for that.
Me neither. Dude, he's like punching the air and shit.
Dude, that is awesome. I love that.
That's kind of cool.
Holy,
Like
that
it.
is so cool.
That's
All right,
dope.
let's see the wrap. He's got a couple wraps on him, but this puts more on you.
Are those just like sweat?
The mummify, that's what it looks
What
like
is
to
it?
me.
Sweat cloths?
Whoa.
Yeah, that's cool.
That animation is so cool that he does.
Dude,
Usually
That's
it's just
cool.
a simple little hand raise, right? But
that is hilarious.
That's so extra.
It's so
Wait, did he
extra.
just kick
that
up
is so
when he did
cool. All right,
that?
let's see the ultimate. Holy. Yo, this man, how does he
Okay.
ever lose a match?
Okay, the effects
I'll
definitely
tell you
save
what.
this skin
That is
100%.
really awesome.
Take everything
this
back.
skin, I was like, oh, Boxer Anubis. Like, that's cool, and I have no idea what he's going to do, but I'm down to check
It
it
actually
out.
does a flip.
So much cooler than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, you can see his little hands like on the side of him when he ults, like his little
Wait, what?
hand flashes.
Where?
Look up.
Oh, yeah, he's doing
yeah.
this like really fast, dude.
That is awesome.
Okay, I feel
He's
it's
so
gonna be a
fast that
problem
you
if you
can't
get ulted
see,
and get the
you
3
know.
on you because it's so hard to tell
Yo, is,
visually.
Like Mercury going to be mad that
they look
this
the
Anubis
same.
might be like a little bit faster? Like
Like not the
he's
same,
kinda
of
doing
course, but
Mercury
so
stuff,
similar.
Yeah.
punching
Yeah.
so fast that you can't like see
You might
it.
just have to duke it out.
Yeah, exactly. That'll make him mad. No! Mercury, the only god in the game with 381 movement speed. Now this Anubis skin, 382. You heard it here first. Pay to win. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'll see it at the same time again. I just want to
let's take
see
a
if
look
it's.
at, or take a listen rather, to the voice pack here for Heavy Hitter Anubis.
Yeah! I dig it.
Ooh.
Alright. Alright. Attack! Gank! I'll give you a chance to back down, kid. Yo, what's your deal?
He's a
You're gonna regret this.
cutesy furry. He gets like a super
What music do
deep
mummies
voice.
listen to? Rap!
You don't
My
have to
favorite
laugh,
workout song?
Oh, okay. Never
It's
again.
gotta be Eye of the Jackal. Your mama is so ugly, she turned Medusa into stone.
What's up? everything short, sweet, and to the point. It's the jab of voice packs, right? Thank you, Chris. You're on the same wavelength as me.
Yeah, look how simple. Oh man, I don't like
awesome.
that part.
Heavy Hitter Anubis as part
I
of
think the
battle
boxing
pass
gloves of
coming
one
to
of these need to be another
6.1.
color.
We also have Dragon Empress Scylla.
Yeah.
This is the skin that you can get by getting involved with a Switch closed beta. A skin that we also have the Scylla skin that you can get elsewhere, but not in this beautiful white and gold color.
Right.
Kind of matching the Nox skin that we did recently, right?
Yeah, I think that was the intention. Vivian Costi did both of those skins and this recolor, so it was just appropriate to fit him in the same world.
Awesome.
Yep.
I like that he caught to the
really
recolor
good.
at least.
Looking even more regal this time around with Dragon Empress Scylla. Again, this is you should recognize a lot of the look though from things that we have done in the past, but you haven't seen it. You've been missing out. Her dragons are also white and gold.
Just
though.
almost said recolor.
Yeah, they can be anything.
I could definitely mess with that. White and gold, a classic color combo.
It looks great.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
Nice.
That is awesome. Again, you get this by getting involved with the Nintendo Switch closed
The Founders
beta.
Pack.
In the Founders Pack there, that's right. Still have those beautiful auto attacks. Very similar to that of the Dragon Nox. They're part of the same kingdom. is
They
what I'm
are.
told here.
Yes.
Are they friends, Tina?
Maybe. Maybe.
You don't have to come up with that on the spot.
It seems like, maybe they're friends right now, but there's some underlying tension there.
Yes.
That's what I'm picking up on. Okay.
Yes.
I can mess with that.
Because they could be sisters, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's the Dragon Queen Nox, right? And
No,
then-
Dragon Priestess.
Oh, Priestess, that's right. And she's the Empress. So
Yes,
maybe they
she
have
is No, well, they're both queens. So maybe they're like, I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. You have to wait
If
and
I have
find
to
out.
write another one, then we'll see.
We'll figure it out then.
Then we will figure it out.
Yeah, then we'll figure out the lore.
That's right. Do we have the voice pack ready here as well for Dragon Empress Scylla?
It's the same as
Same as the other one. Well,
The
let's
other
take,
one.
we can take a quick listen to it in case people aren't.
Next
familiar
skin.
Brilliant! I'm a real Draco. I'm a real Draco.
And I believe-
Back off, stranger. We aren't here to play.
Sorry for cutting you off there, Pon. I believe this skin has a VXG as well, if I remember correctly. But I believe it's a standstill one. Yeah, she gets her
Right, she has
throne.
two specials.
There to
So
sit
cool.
on. I often sit on my opponent's
Oh,
tower
wait.
line and do this, and then get ganked and killed. But I look really, really cool while I'm doing it. And that's what's really
She's
important to me.
really,
It is.
At the very least. Okay, next up, Gladiator Guan Yu.
Yeah.
This is your Season 5 ranked reward. So if you've gotten at least 75 ranked wins in Season 5, you will receive this skin, and you will now look more badass every time you play Guan Yu from here on out. This one also spooks me a little bit. And like,
Oh yeah.
Really?
this guy's going to kill me sort of way.
Oh okay.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah, he's intense.
He is
For
pretty
sure.
intense. He's pretty swole.
I like
Yeah.
him.
That is, that's a big boy.
And he's a big boy.
I like Gladiator
there.
styles
That's
in
a
general.
Big
And that
boy.
spear, man, I mean, that thing means serious business.
Yeah.
It's a spear that has tusks.
Kind of looks like his horse with tusks.
I think
Yeah,
his horse probably has tusks.
Yeah, I want to
In
see his
this one,
horse, bro.
yeah.
Well, we will. That's
Okay.
that's the
Yeah, yeah,
ultimate.
yeah, yeah.
Patience, man.
Patience there. Where we'll get the horse.
Yeah, I
Just a
believe
little
Andy
bit.
Tim worked on this, and I just love how different it is from other Guan skins in that he took the robes off. He's not, long and flowy anymore. He's
Right.
just in your
I
face.
really like that. I can see his thighs.
Yeah, most of the time, Guan Yu feels like the war general. He's in control of the situation. This
Right.
dude just wants to murder you.
Yeah.
Like there is no confusion.
Easy to
as to what's
easy
going
to
on.
accuse with her,
Yeah,
actually.
exactly
Like,
right.
I
All
think
right, let's take a look at that horse.
depending on which skin you're
What do
playing.
we have here for Guan Yu?
Oh shit.
Yeah,
He's bulky.
That is I mean, you cannot be a small horse and
Yeah, slow-mo
hold
that. I wanna
this
see it.
man. You
I
know?
wanna see
Yeah.
how chunk. How chunk.
Pretty comedic if it did, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh.
I see
Does
his
he have?
face.
Oh, he does,
Does
have
have
tusks.
tusks.
Oh, he
There
does
you go.
have
Well,
horns.
it's horns. Yeah, it's horns, not
Oh.
tusks. I suppose. The armor detail here on both the horse and Guan Yu himself is really, really cool.
Looks awesome.
Yeah,
So nice.
that is really awesome. Again, this
I like
is your
this.
ranked reward here for season 5. So
Considering
hopefully
it's a free
you've been
skin.
grinding, so you can look this good. when playing Guan Yu, and when he gets mad and has his passive all fully stacked, that fire above his head is really dope. Let's take a listen to the voice pack here for Gladiator Guan Yu.
Attack! Gank! You fight like you were born to it! Hurrah! Hurrah! Incredible! No man is my equal! You're so frail. There's only one way our battle would end. My favorite game in the Colosseum is always the lion fight. You could say it's the main event.
Okay.
Once, in the arena, I cut off both a fighter's arms and legs. In the end, he was disarmed and defeated.
The voice lines, questionable. The
Okay,
voice
so
pack is pretty good.
He's not as mean as I initially thought. This man just really, well, I mean,
No,
that joke was
he's a gladiator.
But he just
Gladiators
really
usually
likes to
mean.
fight.
Yeah, he's.
Does
They
he
like to
still have a
fight.
beard? I'm sorry, I missed that.
He does he have
Oh
a...
no, because
I
he has the
don't
mask
think so.
on.
I
He
don't
has the
know. I don't think we
helmet
can
on.
see.
Oh my god, he
No.
trimmed his beard.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh.
Whoa, his neck is so
Whoa.
thick.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
The girth
Yeah.
on that neck.
Okay, you can stay away
Did
from that
you see
word
that
forever.
shit, dude?
Yeah,
was
okay.
there.
Scarlet Judgement Nemesis. Let's move on as fast as humanly possible.
Next thick
Again,
skin.
part of the battle pass that you'll
Talk about
receive in
thick
6.1.
stuff already.
This one, she let the hair grow out a
Isn't
little
that
bit.
just
The
Elegant
bangs are the
Nemesis?
ones,
I'm so
covering her
confused.
eyes this time
I
around.
thought no, it's the same as the other one.
Isn't that just a recolor?
She has, I think she has one other skin where the hair is covering her eyes, but this one is just like, I don't know.
Let me
It's really
check
stuck
here.
out to me. Right
Pretty
away.
sure
But
this
the,
is just
the red and
Elegant.
black, certainly a good look.
Yeah.
Pretty sure
For
this is a
Nemesis.
recolor.
Yeah.
Ooh, that sword is sick. What is going on in there?
I don't know.
Is that like a...
I think it's a fuse.
She's got like a little power supply
Yeah.
in her sword.
Yeah.
I know it was on her last skin, but it probably stands out now because of the colors.
It's like orange
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That
It's
is
a nice
awesome.
touch.
Yeah, that it looks really, really good.
Yeah.
That is dope. All right, let's take a look at some of these.
It's just a
these
recolor of
effects
Elegant
here
Nemesis all the
for
way.
Scarlet Judgment.
Oh, all right.
Nemesis.
I am...
Oh, the sound is really nice.
Yeah. Okay, so I see. This is you're right, because this is very similar to the black and blue one.
Yeah.
Right.
But this is just the different
And even-
colors.
Yeah, it's
But
just a recolor.
A lot of the detail, like I love that skin because of the noises and the effects as a part of it.
She's
but
got
I
a
never
way
realized
better
how
black
much
and red
detail
skin
is really
anyways.
in the sword of that skin and that kind of stuff.
Right.
It really pops here
Yeah.
with this version.
Yeah, all these
Sure.
recolors are really cool. I think we're trying to find new ways to get more inventive with them and get more creative to give more visual impact. So I think this one came out great.
Right. Come on, Pon, you can do it. You kind of got there.
I believe in the pond, dude.
Slow-mo, maybe.
You got it, Pon. Hey, that's what it looks like when you take
Nice.
damage off the Retribution Shield.
Yes.
Well done. You're the best, Pon. All right, let's take a look at the ultimate now. So remember that ultimate is dope on the other one.
Harder they fall.
Nice.
Cool on this one as well. Yeah, I just love... my main love of these skins is the dash. The dash is the best part, right? The little
Feels
effects
impactful. Yeah.
that go on behind. So cool. I'm loving that.
I like the
Again, this
default
Scarlet
dash
Judgment
sound
Nemesis
way
part
better than this one.
Of the Battle Pass reward. This is what I want to do every time I play Nemesis. Let's take a listen to the voice pack here for this skin.
Oh, it's the same.
Attack. Yeah, I'm pretty amazing. Gank. You don't
Next.
disappoint.
Skin.
Woo! Wait! Whatever. You're not worth my time. Get ready because things are gonna get ugly. Except me, of course. I fight with style. If they're still standing, it's because I haven't knocked them out yet.
There you have it, Scarlet Judgment Nemesis. Next up on the list, Golden Touch, Baron Samedi.
Yes.
This skin is for those of you who have been behaving out there.
That one
on the
looks so nice,
battlegrounds.
even though it's a recolor.
This skin looks
It's a good
awesome.
recolor.
And it's really just because I
a
love
gold
Baron
skin, but with white,
as he
which
is.
people had put as a
I
concept
had a lot
on
of
Reddit
trouble.
a while ago.
Even
Not for
like
Samedi, but in general.
The Countdown Baron, the kind of nuclear one. I'm like, man, I just love base Baron so much. It's hard for me to go away from it. Now
I actually agree.
I could just be looking awfully good.
I
with the
actually
white
agree. I
gold this
actually
time
end
around.
up playing base
Players that did
Baron a
not
lot
receive
because I
an
like
account level suspension
style.
or ban and have played at least 50 games in Season 5 will receive this skin. So hopefully you've been behaving. Otherwise,
That means I can get this skin?
well, Tina, have you? It would actually mildly surprise me if you haven't been banned. Not because you've been saying like BM things, but just like inappropriate things that you don't realize are inappropriate.
Well, I've been what do you call it? Ticketed about having the name Hi-Res because people think that it's fake.
Yeah, I get those as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the only one.
I think this skin was originally proposed when we were doing his recolors, and we decided that the other recolor was more appropriate, but we loved this one so much that we were like, we have to keep it.
Yeah.
for
Nice.
All
We just
white.
gotta reuse it
Yeah,
a
that's
different
fair.
time. All right.
Yeah, the white coffin.
So good, dude.
So good.
It's really fitting.
This man is just full of style. There's
He's
no other word for
suave.
it. Yeah, I love it. Again, this is the skin that you will get as part of your
That jump gets me every
not getting
time.
banned this year or suspended. So don't be mean. That's the way. That's the way to get this one. Okay, I want to get into this next Poseidon skin as soon as humanly possible.
Yes, yes,
because
please, let's do it.
God.
Let's do
I've been waiting for this.
We've seen
Vaporwave
this.
Poseidon.
What? Come on.
Tina, why are you so excited about this skin?
Because you proposed it?
Well,
We know that?
the dinosaur.
Are you gonna spoil
okay.
it?
So we were looking for abilities for him, and I was just like, I don't know, sitting at my desk and just kind of was brainstorming, and I really like Kung Fury, the movie, or that short, and I was like, dude, there's fucking T-Rexes with laser beams and shit in that thing. What if we like have the T-Rex like come out?
So
and just, like,
Tina's
shoot
gonna get my
laser
video
beams and
demonetized
shit
one day.
and like laser everyone, you know?
Yeah,
So
I know.
So, and they were like, yeah, dude, let's try it. And then
Holy.
this happened.
Dude,
Oh my
that is.
God.
And then I got JDF, and then it just sealed the deal, dude.
Yeah, if you haven't heard,
What?
the Green Ranger himself.
No,
was
this
skin.
is fantastic.
And if it wasn't cool
Wait,
enough,
I've not seen
look
this
at
last
it,
time.
For God's sakes.
Never mind, we
The
haven't seen the
title
full
search.
skin.
Hovering all the time, like that's pretty cool.
We only saw
That's
the old.
automatically very cool.
Never mind.
And he shoots
I
the-
take it back.
Oh,
Wow.
I love
What?
this skin.
The effects
Amazing.
artist went so over the top on it, and it looks amazing. This is my favorite
I'm
skin
glad
this
they
patch.
did.
Yeah.
Hands down.
This is
Alright,
incredible.
this is god
the
tier.
effects are. I mean,
Wait, when it hits someone, does it do palm trees?
Yeah, well, when he shoots it
Dude.
off, yeah.
he shoots it
Okay.
off, it's palm
Oh.
trees,
Oh, this is
and it
too
goes into
good.
the sunset at the end. That is amazing.
I actually want to play this in
Laser
cooldown run
whirlpool.
off thingo.
The vortex pulling you in.
So cool.
That is awesome. And I mean, we've done a lot of different styles of skins. This is definitely a very unique style.
Yeah,
The effects.
Okay,
are
it's actually
Look
really
at
cool.
him!
You can
my
see the
God.
sunglasses. Okay, let's just.
Lasers.
Oh wait, what does he do in the end?
Yo, he hits you. Yo, you just got crushed, and then hit you with the point. That is awesome.
He's slow-moing it for us. Oh no, he's not. I'm just
No,
kidding.
that's slow mo.
It's
Too good.
Oh, it's kind of slow-mo, yeah.
That is amazing. See, the T-Rex does have a name.
Oh, Bon!
Jeez.
That is Neptune.
Yeah.
That is coming out and destroying your life.
Jesus.
Fun, please. They're gonna be extinct.
Yeah. We only have so many Neptunes in that are ready. There's a lot of talking points I have here.
Yes.
About this skin. A lot of background, if you will. So Poseidon is the code name for a hacker who hacked into the cyber world and is able to control the grindverse, or the gridverse. Gridverse. That's why his abilities are grid/wave-like, and the grid pattern is seen throughout his hoverboard, helmet, and shirt. So Poseidon is doing pretty well for himself here. In the
Wow.
Gridverse.
Yeah, Vivian did this. And
Who cares
she
about
always
gods
has
when you
great
can be a
backstory,
Hekam, right?
In her head whenever she's doing the skin. And I had to be honest, like when we first got pitched this idea, I was nervous about like,
Yeah.
can we make it different from the .exe skins? Is it going to
Right.
be too
Oh, yeah,
close
yeah,
to
yeah,
like
yeah. That
cosmic
worked out.
skins? And she the first round of iterations, she just knocked it out of the park, and she was like, "Here's how you do it." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Oh, okay.
So awesome. And being on this hoverboard, I mean, Poseidon normally doesn't walk, but he does touch the ground. Did that have a lot of changes to have to be made for animation side?
I have no idea.
That's a good question for
That's a good
animation.
for animated?
I'd assume so, because it's very different
Right.
than what it says, than what it normally looks like. Probably has to be different for everything. All right, let's take a listen to the voice pack here and the Green Ranger himself.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. That was sweet. Attack! Gank! You rock. Yeah, I'm cool. Yeah, I'm cool. Ah, come on. You could do better than that, right? You know who's gonna win this race? Me.
I like that.
Wow, you're so slow. Well, I guess I mean physically too. If you're still alive after this, I'll show you some of my signature tricks.
So awesome. Haha. And the good news is that it's out in the 5.25 update. You don't even have to wait until 6.1.
All right, you can get it today, actually.
Have Jason
It's on the
David
chest.
Frank voice your dinosaur light show.
Sorry. Kong's gonna extinct them, dude.
So awesome. I love this skin so much. That's Vaporwave Poseidon. And then last but certainly not least, we're right around the corner for Merlin, everybody. Steamy Chibi Soul.
The only skin where I didn't want to say next skin because the Vaporwave
It's very
actually
You know what
even better than I thought.
You know what I feel like is difficult for Soul is that she's just like fire all the time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it can be hard to make it easy to tell what's going on with the skin and even just differentiate them at all.
Yeah.
The Chibi helps, but this one is very, very different than a lot of those other ones.
Remember when she first was concept, she's supposed to be wearing like shorts?
I wasn't here for that.
Oh.
But
No, for this skin.
oh, for this one.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
she was first wearing shorts.
Right,
And,
and
then
then
we're
we
like, let's put her in a dress.
Yeah, because it adds to that cutesy vibe.
Yeah, it does.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
Wow, you can't. You barely see it with your pilot
just
because
hair.
her hair is so big. She just looks like a fireball floating around.
It does.
I love it. I
Okay,
actually
that
think that's
is-
really cool.
It
You're just
is
like
really
a
cute.
That is
little tiny fireball
different.
floating around, but that can also shoot other fireballs around.
It kind of looks like a tasty Cheeto.
Oh, it looks like the
I like the
Kukulkan
cutesy
effects just with
cartoony effects on
fire.
this. They work really well. That's cool.
Oh.
I love that. The
I don't know
cartoon
how they're
effects looking
different.
good. Ooh, that,
Wait a
that
second.
little sun, that is awesome.
Nice.
She has it like spin in front of her as well, but also in the middle of the stellar burst. That's awesome. Ooh, her auto attacks change whenever she's at full passive as well.
That's cool.
The spinning auto attacks, those are cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Different
I love
sound
that.
here,
I love
but
the sound.
almost
Like
an animal.
balloons popping.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, goodbye.
Oh, bye, Soul.
Oh, that's so good.
I love that.
Can't catch me.
There she goes.
That's so troll as you're
It is
getting
very
away.
troll.
Oh, that's gonna tilt me for sure.
Yes.
Watching a Soul get away with 1 HP with
And
that.
she's smiling at you, dude.
That's right. That is great. These Chibi skins can be a challenge though a lot of the time, right? Because they're completely new proportions for
Right.
everything. I mean, normally heads aren't that large and limbs
Right.
that small.
They're usually a big rigging and animation overhaul. So
Yeah.
we
They're
try
very
and keep
costly.
it.
They must be
we keep
bought
it
a
tame
lot to
where
be
we
worth it
can,
for them.
But,
Right. Gotta
Must
make,
be,
gotta
really
make it
popular.
work though here
Exactly.
for Steamy Chibi Soul. Let's take a listen to her voice pack.
Attack! Great game! Gank! Yeah! You are brave! Ha-ha! Skull!
I feel like it almost sounds like the
like
default.
having friends. Watch it! Don't burn yourself now. I enjoy it when jerks are kind enough to dress in flammable clothes. They call me H, because I turn asses to ashes.
Wow.
Well done. Well done, Tina. I gotta give credit where it's due.
Aw,
That's well done. Is that the original voice actress?
It is. I just asked her to make it a little more like cheeky, like she's a little cheeky girl.
Yeah.
And cuter, so it is the same voice actress. Yes.
I like that. I like that.
Thank
That is
you.
awesome. We got through them. All
We
10
did, all
skins.
10 skins.
Next.
That
God.
means Merlin is
Next.
coming up. We got a
Boring.
short lore video for you here as we get ready to reveal the 100th god added to SMITE.
Have I seen that as well?
You may know the myths and legends of the great King Arthur. But what do you know of the hands that set those legends into motion? Are they those of a prophet, a demon, or perhaps just a remarkable man? Whichever he may be, the power he wields is not in question. The great wizard Merlin has woven his magics and cunning in service of great rulers, ushering victories in war and foretelling he who would come to rule all kings. Through a vision of clashing dragons, he foretold the son of Uther to be that great king. As the dragon comet blazed across the sky, Merlin took his place at Uther's side, naming him Pendragon, a name his son would make known to all the world. Standing against the marauding barbarian hordes from across the sea, Merlin remained steadfast at Uther's side, until he was claimed in battle. But even from grim ends can hope spring anew. For Uther's son now ascends to the throne, Merlin's many and mysterious works culminating in the rise of the greatest king of all time.
You may have heard of Arthur, but have you heard of Merlin and actually also Arthur? Again.
It's all one book, and Merlin and Arthur together. It's the only way to do it. The 100th god coming to Smite, Merlin, is going to be awesome, and let's wait no longer. Joining me to reveal him are AJ and Clumsy, the mastermind behind Arthur. Chris still here from the skin section, but that's for a reason. He's not just hanging around and sitting
camping out.
So guys, when we were talking about doing King Arthur, I never heard, yeah, we're going to do King Arthur and we'll see who else. It's always, we're doing King Arthur and Merlin. It was always those two together. Talk to me about why Merlin was so important to bring into this universe.
Well, we wanted to try something new, right? That's where it really started. Beginning of every new season, we do a new Pantheon. We do something a little different. This year, we wanted to make sure this new Pantheon really stood out from the rest, because we did a lot of Pantheons last year. That was our something new.
Yes.
Was not one new Pantheon, but 3, right?
Yeah, it was 3.
Yeah. So we did a bunch of stuff, and that was cool too. So we keep trying to build on our system here. And King Arthur and Merlin became part of this discussion. And I've talked about this in a lot of different.
I know.
Yes, that looks awesome, right? You can see here his full use of his magic. The art team did a phenomenal job with him. But Merlin is like, to me, it depends on, I guess, if you're more of a mage, like if you're more of a magic player, as far as
I am.
Yeah, we know we are. As far as your video gaming goes, or your fantasy games, or if you're more of a warrior physical player,
sure,
which one you identify with more.
Sure.
But King Arthur and Merlin together are the archetypal fantasy legends. Like they are the pinnacle of it, right?
That's what I was thinking as well. They're pretty much the quintessential pair, one being the warrior, one being the mage.
Right, and just so many games and literature and movies and everything includes these types of characters and reinterpreted in many different ways.
Right.
And we wanted our chance to reinterpret them.
So let's talk about our interpretation, because a lot of people were expecting Merlin to be old and frail and you know, like no, ours is straight up badass. Like, why did we decide to go for this younger version of Merlin?
Well, there's some very interesting lore reasons behind it, which I like especially. But you know, in his lore, Merlin's described as being advisors to many kings. In the more official source we've been citing for our Arthur and Merlin lore, he starts as advisor to King Vortigern, and that's where he discovers the 2 dragon prophecies, discovers the dragons, prophesizes Arthur. Then he goes on to working with Uther Pendragon, who Merlin actually gives the name Pendragon to. He wasn't known as a Pendragon until he met Merlin, and then finally on to working with Arthur. And for all we know, there was many other rulers before that Merlin always was there to make sure that they ruled fairly and to keep them safe in times of war and struggle.
Sure.
So the way we kind of see Merlin is as an ageless being, right? And as we nodded into the lore as well, he's rumored to be part demon. People don't exactly know where his magic comes from, or what he is, or why he's here, or why he's so powerful or special.
Sure.
And that mystery is something we wanted to play with. So we kind of felt like our Merlin would be powerful enough to kind of transcend age. And although he could be like many of our deities that might be eternal,
right,
but then look like children,
yes,
or etc., or whatever Cupid is.
Whatever that
whatever
is.
Abomination.
It is.
Abomination.
Yeah, whatever.
You can be eternal and still look like a young abomination, or you can be eternal and look like a beautiful middle-aged man.
That's right. And Merlin certainly fits that description. Let's talk a little bit about the magic, because you mentioned it, Clumsy. All 3 magic stances there on the card art.
Yeah.
He's got 3 of them.
He's got 3.5, actually. Okay. We're going to go into that a little bit. He uses arcane, fire, ice, and a little bit of lightning, too.
Ooh, you got my attention.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think we've talked about
that. He's got 3 stances, but he does have a 4th element thrown in there.
But he has 4 elements. That's
nice.
What? Dude, I have no idea about this. To be fair, I have actually played a good amount of Merlin in comparison to other gods in the past. So I've been very excited about this. I won't be asking as many noob questions and more like, yo, remember this cool thing that I did that one time in playtests?
You've been playing with a lot of beautiful temp effects, which got the gameplay across. When you see Chris's final effects, you're going to really see what Merlin looks like, and it's awesome.
Nice. I can't wait. Do we have to wait any longer? Can we like go?
I think we can go look at him,
pretty
right?
much in there. We can go inside, look at the game, talk a little about the gameplay hooks and stuff.
All right, cool. Yeah, we got we're loading in for Merlin. So let's talk a little bit more about what these stances do.
So as I mentioned earlier, we've got 3 different stances. Merlin is a stance switcher, but the way he goes between those stances is a little bit differently, right? We talked about this in the closer look in the last time, I think, as well, is that he actually starts at a level 1 with a rank 0 version of his ultimate elemental mastery, and he starts as an arcane wizard, and then he can cycle between arcane to fire to ice and then back to arcane. Alternatively, while he's using his ultimate, he can skip a stance. So he can go, for example, from arcane straight to ice, or fire straight to arcane.
It requires 2 button inputs to do this. You have to press 4 and then 1, 2, or 3 to choose the stance you want to go to.
Gotcha.
And once you level up your ultimate, and so it's at rank 1, you then get access to an empowered version where he actually explodes in the energy of his current stance and then implodes very quickly into the energy of the stance he's going to be in.
And that does effects and damage as it goes out.
It does damage on the way out and on the way in. The exact same damage, and then the effect is different depending on what stance he is. So, for example, if he's an arcane stance, he'll knock up enemies on the way out, and then he'll burn enemies on the way in if he's going into fire.
His stance change
to say that until we got in game, they were really excited about
has
it.
effects.
No, we talked about that a little bit last time.
Knock up as
before
well.
we go in and actually talk about the rest of his abilities, I think there were some very important design decisions we made when coming to Merlin and a triple stance switcher that I wanted to get across, right at the beginning of this all.
Sure.
Because he's a triple stance switcher. He's got a lot of different abilities.
Sure does.
Right.
But with that in mind, you wanted to make sure that we assessed what needed to be complicated about him, what needed to be simple about him, and kind of mix those two together. So we didn't just make Merlin complex for the sake of complexity, just go all out on every single ability, because we wanted him to have, a medium to high skill floor, because that essentially is a triple stance switcher.
It's going to be high no matter. It's going to
exactly. But he will still have a very high skill ceiling, and we didn't feel it necessary to push that ceiling even further for just the sake of it.
Yes, I will say in my somewhat limited experience, I feel like I could just press all my buttons and do some stuff, but every fight I was like, oh, if I would have stance switched earlier into that stance and then gotten my cooldowns up to use that stance later on, I would have been way better. There were a million options available to me. And
so
I thought the
cooldown was
I can
long.
already foresee some people saying, oh, for his movement ability, which, we're about to go into the game soon. For his movement ability, we kept it the same for all 3 stances, and that was a very important design decision. I can already see some people, maybe criticizing that, it could have been different for every single one, but we thought that was actually very key to who Merlin is.
Well, we're trying to avoid bloat.
Exactly.
And we're trying to add a consistency to his kit, whereas those are going to be shared on a cooldown, which also keeps his movement at a reasonable level of counterplay.
Right.
Because if he could move, stance switch, move again, which we did test, which is why these guys are laughing. We played like that for a little while, and it was ridiculous.
I didn't play like that. And,
no, it was broken. It was OP.
Something else.
So there's a lot of reasons behind that, and you'll see that although his stances are different, they have some parallels to them and kind of like similar targeting as we often do for stance changes. You have generally forward projectiles for his ability 1 and ranged AoEs for his ability 2, but they do very different things. But that's for intuitive gameplay, and we felt success from that on former stance changers.
Absolutely.
And also a key thing about him was action. We didn't want Merlin players to be making these out of combat decisions where they're changing their stance, and that was kind of where some of the early brainstorming from Merlin came up with, like, let's give him a lot of abilities and he can like pick them and choose them, but then we're like, no, then you're just like sitting in base thinking all the time and not fighting.
Yes.
So we designed most of his kit to work really well in combat, and that's why he's the first character, correct me if I'm wrong, that their stance change is actually a damaging ultimate ability as well.
That is the first.
So it directly incentivizes you to use this ultimate in a risky and high payoff way.
And you will. Trust me. Let's get in game and take a look at Merlin. I know you guys are excited. I am as well. Again, the card art for him as we get ready to go. Do you want to start with the 3 since that's the only one?
So we're going to be going
across?
Oh, look at him there.
That is.
We can call some attention to some things here. You can see that Merlin's outfit, normal stance changers, some of them will change.
Right.
What about them will change, right? RTO turns into a bear. Merlin's outfit's going to stay the same, but what you're going to see is the glowing effects on his hands are going to change to different types of magic. Cool. That's going to change color, as well as that rune orb he's holding. That's going to change to the different type of magic you're in. So you can easily, at a glance, spot what stance Merlin is in.
Very important, always, in those sorts of instances. There's some lightning. I like what I'm seeing. Okay, but we'll get into the stance switching in a minute.
Right.
I want to make sure that we start somewhere where people are gonna we're gonna come at you hard and fast.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go
just
through
like
this.
Merlin will.
That's right.
So this first thing is immediately gonna get some attention right away. His movement ability, which we've talked about very quickly, is an instant teleport blink.
It is called Flicker.
It is called Flicker.
Yeah, this
Not
is combat
blinks
blink, ladies and gentlemen.
Sure, it is in a much shorter range.
Yeah, very short range.
Very, very much shorter. You cannot.
And-
I don't think you can get over a single wall in the entire Conquest map, right?
Not in Conquest, but it turns
yeah.
out you can in Arena. So
You can cut some corners.
Great.
Whoa.
Sure.
But it is very fast, and actually it does leave a trail behind, so that if you're following a Merlin and he flickers away, you'll instantly be able to know which direction he went.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
We thought that would be incredibly important to keep this ability, in a pretty balanced state.
That's
so it's actually really interesting.
safe,
is
but
that
then
during
also
our
not
playtest,
safe.
Flicker, an instant teleport is extremely powerful, but
Yeah.
we've also balanced it with a pretty healthy cooldown. And all that it really does is just this movement ability. It doesn't do anything else. And as AJ alluded to earlier, once you
Right, it's a
change
passive,
stances,
though.
the cooldown actually persists through stance changes, which is
That's right.
only true for his 3 and his 4.
Okay, so we're starting off with the combat blink.
We're starting off with the very short range combat
Let's
blink.
see
Yep.
where else we can go with this kit. Let's start with the passive, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we
is
can
a good
go
place to
right into
start.
passive. So Pawn's already doing it here. Every time Merlin uses an ability, his basic attacks get empowered with lightning, his 4th element. And that basically just does an extra proc of a little bit more ability damage, plus some scaling too.
Okay, so he's got built-in mini poly.
He's got built-in mini poly that stacks 3 times and has a short duration. If you miss, just like with Polynomicon, you'll just miss that proc.
Gotcha. So now this will incentivize you. You got a lot of buttons to press, but don't forget to throw your auto attacks.
Yeah, weave in some
abilities.
basic attacks while in the middle of your ability combos.
And if you blink Flicker here 3 times, and then you could fire 3
Yes.
projectiles.
So you stack up to 3.
There it is.
And just to make one other side note,
right.
notice here that Merlin, his ability icons,
Right.
are in a temp state still.
Yes, yeah, of course.
As you can see from this god that has a lot of abilities, he has a lot of icons.
Yes.
So they're taking us a little longer to get them all finished. So,
I've played so much on this sort of setup, I didn't even think of that. Like,
But
yeah,
these
that's what
icons
that's what they
are
look like.
really intuitive and fantastic for testing and temp.
Yep.
And as temps, they're really helpful.
The UI icons are slightly missing. We also will have a passive meter, which will be indicating his current stance as well as the 2 other stances, and that's that will be in very soon during PTS. And
I
believe
know there's a
there's,
counter
a
at the
couple of
bottom.
sound effects and stuff that are still getting their way in.
Awesome. Okay, let's get into it then. Let's start with ability 1, and I say, do we want to go through?
No, we gotta do the
stance by
ultimate
stance?
first.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
right.
using the ultimate is important, which is Elemental Mastery. So as you can see, he has no points into it, but he still has access to it. So if Pawn goes ahead and fires Elemental Mastery, you'll be able to see the UI icons change at the bottom.
Holy, that's
Yep.
so cool.
Is that
The
I'm looking
effects
at
and the
Chris,
animation turned
but the
out so
effects and the
well.
animation are beautiful.
And he gets different auto
He gets different
attacks.
auto attacks. They all do the same thing, but FX wise, they're very different. So he's got
And he gets different flickers.
He is like a walking T5 skin.
Oh my god, this character is so much
We
cooler.
haven't even really broken the ice about this guy yet.
I
But
know.
So in the middle of stance switching, you'll be able to see his 1, 2, 3, his abilities. You can actually switch, like we were talking about earlier. So
Right.
right now, Pawn's in ice, and he's going to go straight to fire because he's swapping in the middle of the transformation.
Gotcha.
So there's some fail safe here. So if you just fire it, it will automatically rotate to the next stance in the queue.
Right.
But if you do use the timing window to choose it, it's just during that time where he's channeling the first stance before the second one appears. Obviously, because you choose the second one.
Yes.
So you can just press 4 and it'll happen on its own, or you can press 4-1 or 4-2 or 4-3 to specifically turn to the one you want.
You don't have an eternity here, but I can say from playing with this character a decent amount that it feels very natural once you
Yes,
get into
it'll
it.
definitely take some getting used to
bit
to
of
get
practice.
smooth, but once you get there, it'll be more than enough time.
Yeah.
Chris, anything you want to call attention to on this effects as we switch ultimates?
No, just that. No, not now. Sorry.
Not yet.
Well, how about
Pawn's-
now?
There we go.
So now that Pawn has put some points into his abilities, you can see that every time that he uses this ultimate, that vortex goes out away from him and then collapses in very quickly. And you were talking
Pawn,
about
did
this
you break
earlier.
him?
Clumsy.
We possibly broke him because
Pawn
right now
broke him.
he's exploding and imploding with the same coloration, but the implosion should definitely be of the stance you're going to be going to.
Classic.
So
Pawn.
that's something that
as
we
when
probably
we do
broke
things
by
on
moving
infinite
it.
0 cooldown,
That's
you
right.
notice we can break things from time to time.
It happens. That's right. Pawn, I just want to let you know you're trying your best out
There
there.
we
goes.
go.
That's working
Okay,
again.
so it was definitely cooldown related.
So you got ice and
Infinite
then
cooldown.
arcane comes in.
Perfect.
Cool.
And then arcane out.
Oh,
out, and then fire comes in.
That's awesome.
And
Okay.
again,
dot,
if
knock
you
up.
swap stances in the middle of that, it's going to break that chain. So, you know, Pawn right there just did ice outwards or fire outwards, and then, you know, you can do arcane inwards.
Right.
For the implosion.
You cannot just fire it and stay in the same stance.
Yeah,
you
correct.
must switch.
You
So
must
there's really only 2 choices, not 3 when you fire it. But
So what are you mentioned that arcane on the out and in will knock up.
Exactly. If you hit anyone in the arcane stance, either explosion or implosion, it'll do a knock up as well as the damage. The fire will do a burn, and the ice will do a slow.
Okay, so you can choose what's best for your situation.
Arcane OP.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you don't want to go to the stance because of the ability, but sometimes you might actually want that extra effect.
the arcane into ice, the knock up slow is really good.
Yes.
I love doing the arcane. Or I like doing it either way, arcane and approach, and then switch to ice or fire to finish them off.
Okay, which stance we want to start with?
All right,
here?
we're definitely going to start with the one you start the game off generally.
Arcane.
With arcane.
Okay, so let's talk about his 1 in this stance.
So, Merlin's ability
What?
1 is called Eclipse, and it's basically, as you can see with the targeter, it's a growing orb. The farther you shoot it, or the farther you aim, the larger it grows in size.
Okay.
So try and
Isis
go ahead and
Spirit
miss
Ball?
someone with it now, Pawn, so we can just go ahead and see what it looks like. So it's a projectile that goes outwards,
Man,
and
that is cool.
it's a sweet looking.
Well, can I just tell you
well, I
guys,
don't even know what to
playing
call it,
these
like a
characters
galaxy
early is really fun, but playing them, like getting to see them with their actual ability, what they're supposed to look like instead of the giant blue disc that just like slowly went at them is so much cooler.
Yeah.
So you can hit someone with that, and when you do, the enemies are marked, and there's a longer radius where they will be taking continuous ticking damage, and the enemy needs to move out of that radius, and then if they go back inside the radius without hitting the eclipse, they won't take any more damage. They have to be re-hit again by the eclipse.
Okay, but so there is a radius to that, and they take continuous damage in there.
Exactly.
But they have to be hit by the initial cast of the ability, right? So if you just walk into it later on, it won't start tick damaging.
Exactly.
And you can see there we've got that outer
No,
radius
sorry, if you
indicator.
do walk into it later on, as long as you get hit by it at any point.
You've got to get hit
Right,
by
but
the
you
center.
can't just like walk semi near it, like
Yes.
in this little area where Pawn is right now, and get hit by the tick.
Interesting.
damage.
And you'll see that outer radius indicator is only there when it's doing something. So when
Right.
he shot it and went too far past the god, so
Well,
that it's
the
back out
main
of the range
clear?
again, it goes away.
It disappears.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
they'll let you clear. So
That is really cool. Okay, so what's the 2 in this instance?
Yep. So the Arcane 2 is called Vortex. After a short delay, it's going to do damage and pull all enemies towards the center. So we'll see that right now.
Damn, that looks cool.
And so you can
Whoa.
already tell what Merlin's Arcane combo is going to be.
Hello,
you can
Zarya.
throw out that Eclipse, or Vortex first, and get them all into
I
the
believe
Eclipse
the
during
timing
game.
works out well where you want to throw the vortex first and then pull them back into the, or throw the
Throw
eclipse,
the Eclipse first, yes,
first and then
and
pull
then
them,
pull them back
vortex
into
them
it.
back into the eclipse when they're trying to escape that extra hit.
Yes, and I will tell you guys that this is something that I was
Oof.
like, oh boy, this is gonna be nuts, and it is nuts, but it's harder to hit than it looks.
Setting
It
up
is
a lot of
definitely harder
stuff.
to hit.
But it has a lot of wind
warm-up
down.
time and the radius of the circle are a good combo of where, if you hit someone and they're not really paying attention, they will get hit by that combo. But if they're just walking away, I think if you even try and hit like the Odin bot in jungle practice that's just walking, you may not actually get him.
No,
Or
you
walk
have to
out.
lead your target with the 2 at all times.
Yeah.
They have enough time to walk from the center out
Yeah,
of it.
I can
before it
imagine that.
actually detonates. So
Right.
we'll reward those players who are very accurate with their predictions on where everyone is going to be.
And the vortex, it does all of its damage at the end of the warm-up NCC. It's all an instant tick, so there's no other persistent effects going on here. It's just an instant damage in CC at the detonation time.
We
Gotcha.
tried to make
Fair.
it not look too scary until the end when it, explodes.
Right.
So hopefully that conveys pretty well.
Yeah, I was gonna say before we move on to the next stance, was there any effects, things I wanted to mention in Arcane?
No, I just really like the black hole.
Yeah,
The
dude.
center, yeah, look up
great.
at the close center of the black hole. It's got this like distortion effect around the
Yeah.
outside.
And it's actually the distortion effect that shoots the enemy gods whenever they're in there.
That's
It's
what the
little
projectiles are coming out of, yep.
Projectiles
Right.
coming out of the black hole
Yeah, and
itself.
It's alive.
If you see the mark on the enemies, you can see there's like that arcane symbol of the
Yeah.
hands. That's marked.
And they just like
Talk
smack
to
you
the
up
hand.
a little bit. Yep, right there.
All right, let's go ahead and use that Elemental Mastery Ultimate and hit the fire stance. All right,
Man,
so
that is so cool.
Dude,
Okay, yeah,
it looks
go on.
so sick.
So like AJ was talking about earlier, all of his, first abilities, they have that same theme. They're an outward kind of damage, and that was definitely part of the design goal. All the ability 2s are some sort of deployable. And again, that wasn't just for simplicity's sake, but that's generally to get the feeling of his whole kit to be cohesive. So his ability 1, when Paul fires this out, this is Radiate. Very different. It's going to be a channeling beam of fire that when it hits an enemy, also applies it dots them.
Okay, so
potentially
Ooh.
his most high damaging ability.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the
I
other
like.
thing. Each
Although
one of
risky.
the stances have different damage, have mostly the same but a little bit of different cooldown, but each one has their own purpose, right? Arcane is medium to high damage with a little bit of utility. Fire is almost no utility, or no CC, better said, but the highest damage and the shortest range as well. Arcane is a pretty medium and healthy range. Fire is short range. I think that's 45 units, which is even smaller than a basic attack.
Yeah.
It still seems so long.
It's not long, but it hits like a truck.
It hits really hard. The scaling can get pretty high, and when you couple it with his second ability, Dragonfire.
Oh, I've been excited about this one. So this is something.
Oh, the reverse cone.
Oh, those cool
What?
little dragons. That's so cool. They come out of the ground.
Was it the last time you saw it when it had like the Ganesh pillars?
Yeah, they were huge pillars.
They were Ganesh
like,
pillars shooting fire.
What is happening?
It feels like you need Gem of
the
ISO
combo
though.
here is if you can get someone caught in that middle section and then start flamethrowing them with the one. I mean,
Or frost stance or fire stance.
So
literally,
the thing to be aware of is that there's definitely a section in the middle where the two cones overlap. For Dragonfire, we didn't want to just go with, if you're in the middle, you get to take double the damage because we thought the variance on that would be pretty high. But what we did as well, which helps synergize with his kit and for the team fights, is that if you're caught in the middle, you actually get a protection shred.
Okay.
So you can get hit by a protection shred that stacks a few times, and allowing him to do even more damage in his fire stance.
Complements his damage stance well, right?
Yes, very, very well.
I just wanted to bring a little attention here to the dragons, where our obviously kind of Arthurian legend has a lot of dragon inferences in it. So Merlin does have, and I called some attention to this in the blog post, he has some subtle dragon imagery in his clothing and in his design, as well as we wanted an ability, because he is like, he was the prophet who discovered dragons really in lore, so he can kind of control this dragon
hard to see an in-game
dragons firing at each other. What's more thematic?
If you look closely at his robes, his armor, he's got clasps that look like teeth and claws, and he's got materials that look like a little bit of wings and scales. So there's a lot of subtle like dragon mage imagery in his design.
So cool.
So Spawn's showing you some ability combos you can get off, but let's move to his third stance because I know everyone wants to see everything together. So we've got his frost.
It's gonna be hard to do those combos though.
Pull them apart
quickly enough.
Yeah.
Well done, Pon.
That Pon's probably
It's
pretty
definitely
good at this game.
insanely high skill ceiling, higher than
his final stance.
Yes.
Arthur for sure.
Which is his frost stance. And in this, we wanted to keep things, a little bit more simple. I definitely wanted the feeling of Merlin to feel like 3 different mages.
Yes.
Especially maybe, a quintessential mage for the ice stance. So his first ability is a simple frost bolt. Very short cooldown. Frost is his highest range stance. So I think this goes to 70 units. And when you hit an enemy, you do an explosion AoE. If you don't hit anyone, you don't get that AoE.
Okay, does this... I don't remember if this explodes off minions or only
This
guys.
does also explode on minions.
Okay,
It also stops on hit.
That's
It
right.
stops on first hit. It doesn't pierce at all.
Okay, so this is not going to be a great wave clear tool necessarily for you, but if you've noticed through the other 2 stances, he does lack range for the most part in Arcane and in Fire. Frost is definitely the only stance where you can easily poke without a whole lot of
Arcane
fear.
seems to be a safest lane clear because you've got a mid-range, so you can clear safely without taking too much damage from your opponent. Fire is definitely risky, and Frost you might be able to do a little bit more poke or something, but you might struggle to clear the wave.
Yep. One of the other things as well, because we wanted to add a little bit of more of that magey RPG feel, is that actually if you hit an enemy while they're slowed, you do extra damage with their Frostbolt. So that means slow, not from Merlin's kit, but from anyone on your team, right?
Oh, cool. Okay.
But that's coming up with his second ability, which is a Blizzard. So after a time to delay, a blizzard starts raining down from the area, doing damage every tick, and as well as stacking up a slow. So this is actually kind of a different type of slowing field. I don't think we have a slowing field that stacks up the intensity of the slow as the enemy gets hit. So it's a 10% slow.
The longer you remain.
Yeah, it's an 8% slow, and it stacks 5 times. So if you get hit 5 times,
Chernobog does that as well, actually.
Sure, each one of his basic attacks.
Yeah,
absolutely.
True.
So that the clumsy
You
likes
got me with my own god.
Your own god.
That's right.
But we didn't want it to be like an instant 30% slow. We wanted this feeling of like a ramping up slow.
Sure. Oh, look at that. It's spawned the enemy.
Yep. And as we mentioned earlier, if you get hit by a slow, your Frostbolt does more damage.
Okay. So
you currently have a slow on you, right?
These combos do pretty well together for the 2.
This stance is really good when you're in those like Fire Giant and Gold Fury kind of standoffs, and you're trying to get some poke damage across or get a little bit of CC in. Whereas a lot of the Arcane will be avoidable at that distance, and Fire especially. So it's a good kind of stance to get started on, and then as soon as people are getting low is when you can go aggressive, flicker in, and follow up with another stance.
I'm being told to ask you, Clumsy, what the bot shoot number is.
For which one?
For Blizzard.
For Blizzard, I believe it's 27 or 28.
Oh yeah, Because normally we just do bot shoot. It's just the
There
number.
you go.
Hey, nice.
You can tell I've been testing that a lot. So you
Yeah.
can see the slowest stacking up on.
Okay.
So
on the
usually
Merlin
you just
there.
bot shoot 2 through 5.
Yeah, but we had to
now
give him
it's
a lot more.
27.
He doesn't have that many abilities. They just have the programming worked. But
That's
yeah,
right.
It comes had to remember all these random
Yeah.
commands to get there.
Frost was the one that I definitely had to play around with the most, so I remember that one definitely on the top of my head.
But you'll see that clear red enemy coloring on all of his effects.
Yeah, that's good.
In all of his stances.
Very good.
So I will say that there were lots of different iterations. Initially for Merlin, you couldn't choose your stance when
Yep,
when
that's the
stance
very
switching.
beginning of his development.
And that is one of my favorite adjustments that was made
Yeah.
during this development process. What is how much better and more fluid it feels to be able to. You feel like you have true
Oh my
command
God.
of everything.
Well, really, what we needed to do was find that timing window that made sense and find an animation and all that. It was something we were open to, but it had a lot more complexities than it seems. You know,
Right.
Common thing, suggestion, and a playtester from community, things like that. We have to think about all of those extra details. And Clumsy was able to find a really good combination of things that made this intuitive, but then still safe. So the fact that you can just press forward and it does it on its own, and you don't really have to worry about it. But then if you're good enough, you can add that extra bit of control. That is perfect. You know, that's the type of thing we like to do in our God designs.
Now you won't be able to do all these nasty things that Pan is showing
Yeah,
us because there is a
obviously.
cooldown on the stance.
There's a
switches.
cooldown on all of his abilities for sure.
Right.
And his stance switching, so his elemental mastery, his ultimate, does have a cooldown of around 22 seconds. I can't remember the exact number, but it's around 24 to 22 seconds. Actually, it should be on here, right?
Wait, I was gonna say, did
I
you
put it
put it
down
on the
here.
paper?
We've changed it
Oh, that's
quite a
alright
bit.
with CDR. That's
there it
not
is.
a
So
lot.
It starts at 28, scales
28
down
seconds,
to 20.
but it scales down pretty
I
low
spam
to
CDR on
20,
this guy
and
just
with
to get more
40%
stance damage
cooldown
off.
reduction. And honestly, here's a
It's more
tip
damage
for all you
effective
Merlin
in a
players.
fight.
Chronos Pendant is fantastic on him.
Yeah,
That is
cooldown
going to
is
go
good on
down
him.
to maybe 10 seconds or so.
I wish that we would have had the speed elixir during playtesting because I felt like I needed all 6 item slots because I wanted cooldown, I wanted Spear of the Magus, Gem of Isolation
You
is
want Gem of Isolation,
phenomenal
yeah,
on
sometimes,
him.
absolutely.
Because he has so many tick abilities.
And he does have to get close range, so having
Yeah.
a little bit of HP can help a lot.
The fire stance with Gem is just, it's disgusting what you can do to people.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of my favorite things about the playtest so far, I think all of them, because we've done quite a bit with Merlin, is that everyone kind of says they have their own favorite stance, right?
Oh, he's
There'll
got
be
the
someone
fire
that's like,
shred
oh,
plus
Arcane is
spear.
trash and I really love fire, but then someone's like, what are you talking about? Arcane
Speaking
is
of
my
too much
favorite, I
shred.
do the most damage. I was like, what do you mean? Ice is where I'm poking and I'm doing great in team fights.
I do remember there was I think it was me and you, Aggro. There was a playtest where I just didn't touch ice the whole match. And
Yes.
then you played right after me and you were like, dude, ice is so OP. And I was
Yeah.
like, what? What are you doing?
It's because all the other abilities just like because the first few times we played him, the Frostbolt in particular was about the same range as an auto attack.
Right.
And so then we switched it to this long range ability, and I was like,
So-
oh my god, that feels so good.
Oh, I see.
Pawn's showing it off right here with 40% cooldown reduction. His ultimate is 11 seconds, but when that Chronos Pendant is ticking, what, twice? It's technically going to be around 9 seconds.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Definitely not
And
so
You
bad.
can't spam it.
No, but you can. You can do a lot. You got a lot of buttons to press, but he's definitely punishable.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, so that's been the other very interesting thing. An instant teleport blink for his flicker is one of the strongest movement abilities in the game, but because of its cooldown and because of its range and because of the visual portrayal, it also makes him extremely immobile when someone gets on top of him and can manage to keep up with that flicker.
Oh, it's just like, you know, we call it all the time, Agni dashed in.
Right.
You dive on him.
Right.
And Merlin is the same way. If you see a flicker come out too early, you can punish it really hard. And many junglers, assassins will be able to just run up to him.
It's really not that everyone, myself included. I
Run
heard,
up to him
it's
and
3D
get deep
combat
fried.
blink, and I was like, "What's up?" Like, we can't do that. But it's in practice, it's very, very strong, of course. But it's really not that much better than say Discordia 3.
Sure,
I mean, a little bit longer range, but not by much.
And it has no additional effects.
Right,
either.
in Discordia 3, you get to sit in the cloud.
Getting
It's
your
just an
cooldown
eye.
effect.
It's a disjoint, right? It's an iframe.
It is very good for disorienting your opponents, and for
Yes.
juking things, it's less good for just long range travel.
But I mean, if you're gonna make that play, you know, you poke out that opponent, you flicker,
so
you
cool.
blow up with your elemental mastery into your new stance, and you just devastate an enemy, and then you get ganked. But it's
And
fine,
then you get insta-kill,
because
that's
you
right.
styled on the enemy.
But man,
It's all about the flex.
It's all about the flex.
That's right. Chris, whenever they were like, okay, we've got to have effects for 3 different stances, and oh, don't forget lightning on his auto attacks, and make sure he looks cool all the time too. Like, were you just like, are you guys kidding me? What's going on?
Yeah,
here?
it felt real bad. You know, like the first god you're working on, they're like, oh, we want 3 stances.
Yeah, that's
You're
right.
like,
This is your first god, right,
oh,
Chris?
You really got to
wrong?
remember to weave
But
in
we
the
did.
basics.
Yeah.
That's got to be
But we
done
did.
actually
lots of
hard.
skin work for us, obviously, which is
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
and he's very talented. These effects all turn out great. I love how the lightning adds itself to any of the basic attacks.
Oh, I know.
Obviously, ice is the closest in coloration, but you can see it on all of the basic attacks, you can add the lightning effect. It was additive, so we don't swap it. So you still see the base magic, but infused with that electricity.
I think my fire is probably one of my favorite ones, where you see the fire basic attack with lightning encircling it.
Volcanic lightning feel again, clumsy. Another one of your guys.
I love the elements, dude. I love the elements.
What can I say?
So, you know,
I don't know what god you're working on next, but I've got my eye out. Stacking slow and some fire lightning going on.
The thing with Merlin was he, as the master of magic, had so many ways we could interpret his magic. You know, we had all these different things. We had these different ideas. A lot of like prophecy as well, but those are a little harder to convey into abilities.
Boy, that's a lot of numbers.
So really, we wanted to just go all in on the fantasy feel of him.
Right.
And just make sure that when you saw this mage, you were like, okay, this is the Archmage. You know, this is the Grand Wizard. This is the leader of the Mages Guild.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's
the
why
Master Wizard, I believe, is his
when we were
title.
designing some of his abilities, you know, for Ice especially, as well as, I mean, for his Blink, I thought, you know, what would a mage do? Not only in games and lore, just like everything that a player would expect. Like, okay, I want a Frostbolt, I want a Blizzard, because that's what he would do when he's in Ice Stance no matter what.
Right.
I want him to Blink, because that's what we think a mage would do, you know, that lovely teleport.
So cool. It is so
His
cool.
fire stance, obviously, you know, a beam of fire is pretty sick.
Oh man, I've been waiting so long to play this god against other people and just like play it whenever I wanted instead of waiting for you guys to invite us over for a play test, and I'm so excited. I can't tell you how
I might have a new
excited
main besides Gubus.
Yeah, this.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a big maybe. That's a big maybe.
You saw that skin earlier.
Yeah, that Anubis skin is awesome. All right, let's take a listen to the voice pack here for Merlin.
How exuberant! Attack! Gank! Cool! You are delightful. Am I not just magnificent?
Yeah, it's fitting.
You want to fight? I have already seen the outcome, and it does not go in your
Oh yeah.
He has built-in global emotes into his taunt.
No way.
And if you change stances, it's different.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, that's insane.
Prepare yourself, villain. I will not hold back.
Give him a little thumbs up, then thumbs down.
I love it.
To cross my path. The chill.
And as you can see, he's just a little cheeky as well.
Yeah.
Anything I do would seem to be magic. Heightened attunement to more than 3 schools of magic is impossible. Impossible, I say.
So as you can see, as if you're eternal and one of the wisest beings and master of all magic, you might get a little overconfident in yourself. Maybe a little sarcastic.
If I could do a little 360 floating flip and have fire and ice explode from me, none of you would want to hang out with me. I would just be insufferable. Absolutely.
So
for various
that
reasons.
is awesome. We also do have the recolor for him as well, I believe.
masteries as well.
Of it. Ooh, is that the mastery right there?
This is mastery card art, I believe.
Okay. I love that. The blue and
he's
gold.
he's in bright purple robes, I believe, for his recolor.
Okay.
Which I don't think we're going to show that today. Maybe we'll show in game.
Yeah.
We still have a long PTS session, so we're still finishing up some card arts.
That's right. When do you know the name of the recolor?
Arcane Advisor, I believe.
Yes.
Arcane Advisor.
But if they release PTS today, then it's gonna get temp icons.
Ready to go. We do have it in game. Great.
Oh wait, yeah, this recolor is sick. I love
Great
this.
work.
I mean, all of his recolors that we had in the early.
There we go. Look at
him.
Holy, that's so cool.
He's a blonde now.
Dude, that purple robe is looking real fresh. And you know, I know I was talking to you guys a while ago about it.
I don't know. I think I was sticking with the default here.
The
it's
way
a
that
bit
we were
too
going
much
to convey
Tarek
the
right there.
stance that he was in. It's like, oh, well, we can't make it just be the clothes, or else the clothes are going to be changing colors all the time, and that's very difficult for us. I think the arms is definitely a pretty clear way to make it work.
It turned out amazingly. We had a lot of discussion, a lot
Better
of
than
brainstorming,
Kanonos.
but the modeling and effects team worked together here to get this overlay that really feels like he's just, overflowing with magic, and it conveys important gameplay information, so win-win.
Yeah. Man, he's looking good in purple too. He does all the same stuff, but it's still cool every time I see it.
I think I'll be rocking Merlin recolor personally when I'm playing.
Yeah, me too. I think that purple is just too nice.
I'm a big fan of purple.
Yeah, purple definitely underrated color.
MMOs, I'd dye my mages purple.
Yeah, it's a good mage color, especially when you get to do stuff like this with it. Oh man, that is so sick. What else? What PTS? Any estimation?
That's what old wizard
when we'll be able
Merlin.
to get our hands on Merlin.
Oh man,
I think that's meant
it
to
should be
very
tonight.
soon.
Yeah, we want to get it up as soon as possible. We need that feedback. We need that testing. Season 6, a lot of big stuff.
Exactly.
Right.
If you do get on PTS tonight, keep in mind that there are some we know unfinished things, and this is not just on Merlin, but on all sorts of places in the game, because we have a longer PTS cycle. So we'll be updating that daily going forward the rest of the week.
Cool.
But please go ahead and report any bugs you can find.
We'll be looking for them, of course.
Hopefully it'll be up tonight.
Twitter and is about to go. Clumsy, I gotta say, great work, man. I'm so excited.
The whole
about this
team
character.
definitely came together, and I'm super excited for Merlin. God 100.
God
right?
100.
God
We
100.
made it.
Finally
We
got
got
there.
there.
We made it.
Triple digits, baby.
And,
We need the 100 emoji glasses or something like that for me right now.
Season 6 is gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be great. Again, PTS hopefully up tonight, but certainly lots of iterations on that. Make sure you give us your feedback there. All of our official social channels is a great way to do that. We hope you enjoyed it. 6.1 coming to you very, very soon. Thanks for watching. You can go ahead and peach it.
You still.
Whoa, that was number. Oof, I don't even. Yeah, number 4 of these patch notes, but we actually got to see a lot of new stuff. We went through all the skins and some of the other changes, as well as Merlin. Wow, that is definitely an interesting character. I think I like what I see so far. Gonna have to see how it's in game. A lot of his abilities are a bit towards the, I don't want to say slower side, but require the enemy to stay in the area of the ability. So I'm gonna be very curious to see how easily he can be juked as well, especially by more mobile characters, like how he does against a Mercury or Bakasura, for example. So it's gonna be very interesting. And yeah, I will also later go through both the written patch notes with all the changes that have been added, and obviously Merlin again, and PTS if it comes up in a reasonable time. And with that, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope this was enjoyable to watch. I personally liked most of the things in these patch notes. Always a bit of a rough start. They should just get into the meat of it basically earlier, but yeah, on that, it was cool. Thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you later. If you're new to the channel, feel free to click up on the bell. It really helps me out. DukeSloth out.